We're up for a road trip today. We're going from the Indiana-Ohio border over to Clay County, Indiana, which is right over by Terre Haute. And we are going to be taking National Road 40, which was sort of the very first Route 66. First idea of Route 66. So I am going to flip you around so that way you can see the road and not me, because you're here for the road. And alrighty, here we go. Let's see if I can get a little bit less of the, yeah, okay, there. Alright. Hold on a sec. No. Oh, hang on. No. Hold on, folks. Okay. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of a technical snafu. So, as I mentioned, we are here at the Ohio-Indiana border in the town of Richmond, Indiana, because that's the first Starbucks in Indiana. So, well, not chronologically, but geographically, first Starbucks in Indiana from Ohio. And I wanted some caffeine for this trip. Looks like we got a New Yorker in front of us. Alrighty. So as you can see, spring has not really sprung yet in terms of the trees. Still pretty barren and wintry out there. It is currently 36 degrees. Supposed to get into the mid-60s today, which I am thrilled about, because anybody who knows me knows I hate being cold. So, although we didn't have too terrible of a winter this year, thankfully in terms of snow, it was cold. Well, too cold for me, which is basically anything below 80. Sorry, I had to take a Starbucks sip. Alrighty, we just turned on to the National Road. Now this road, and I'll repeat this story a few times for folks throughout the drive on the road, so that way if folks are coming in and out, because this is going to be about a 4-hour stream, I think. It's planned for about 4 hours, so we'll see. But this road was commissioned by Thomas Jefferson in 1811. And, oh, I'm sorry, it was commissioned before that. It was built in 1811. It starts in Cumberland, Maryland, which is on the banks of the Potomac River, and goes all the way through Vandalia, Illinois, which is on the Illinois-Missouri border. One of these days, it's on my bucket list, on my trip bucket list. Of course, I have a few things on that list, but it's on there definitely. One of these days, I'd like to take a trip and just drive from Cumberland, Maryland, all the way over to Vandalia, Illinois. So that would go through the whole expanse of National Road 40. They intended for it to go much further. Well, not, let me rephrase that. They intended it to go all the way across the country, which at the time did end at the edge of Illinois. So it did they finished what they wanted, but they also wanted it to continue to expand as the country expanded. That beautiful home in front of us, kind of off to the right, it's a little run down now. It's kind of had a hard hard to go of things in the last little bit, but it started out life as a sanitarium for just kind of a general convalescent hospital, if you will. Not so much a medical, but a kind of rehab kind of place, sort of, in the 1800s. And it is at risk of being torn down right now, which is terrible, and I hope that there's some way that it can be saved, because it's a beautiful building, amazing history. I believe their names were Smith, but a husband and wife doctor team. Well, I guess technically he was a doctor and she was a nurse, because, 1800s. But they lived there, and it was their sanitarium. They were the Cranes, and they were big on the homogenization theory or practice of homogenization, which is basically homogenizing milk, heating it up the same way that we do now when you buy milk at the store. It's homogenized. I cannot say that word. And then that milk is supposed to have curative, well, to the Cranes in that theory, it's supposed to have curative properties. So they would do everything with the milk. You would drink the milk, you would bathe in the milk, you would accept the milk through all different kinds of body openings, if you will. I don't want to get too graphic, but they would use the milk to kind of cleanse your insides, if you will. And because it was a natural product created for babies, baby cows, calves, it was supposed to be extremely healthy and very good for you. So that was what that homogenization theory or method was based on, and that was what they practiced there at the Crane Sanitarium in the beginning. Since then, it was more of a women's hospital. I've heard stories from several folks who were born there and their parents were born there. So it was a hospital, like a birthing hospital, until the mid-20th century. Excuse me. And, to be honest with you, I'm not sure of the reason why it closed. But anyway, it closed. So now we're in downtown, or uptown, in the area of Richmond. And we're going to go by the courthouse, which is beautiful. This town was founded in the early 1800s. And its courthouse was built, I believe in the 1840s. Hey, I need to check on that, but I believe the 1840s. And it is coming up here on the left. It's kind of a Romanesque building. It is beautiful. It's made out of Indiana limestone, because, Indiana, that's kind of our thing. I'm going to turn this a little bit so that way you can see it as we drive by. And if you can see the arch on the left, well, it's kind of hard to see. They had big open windows at the top. And they did that because we're on a hill, as you can tell. And that would allow a breeze to come into the courthouse, because there was no air conditioning, obviously. So anyway, that's the back of the courthouse, and that back arch was where prisoners and people on trial would be taken. Now, Wayne County, which is the county that we're in right now, I'm going to turn this back to the middle a little bit more. is the county, or excuse me, Richmond is the county seat for Wayne County. And so they built that courthouse grand enough to be the county seat, of course. But, you know, in all honesty, the courthouses, you know, just really are amazing here in the Midwest. I love them. So I think all the courthouses are grand and they're beautiful. But that's just me. I love history, so I'm gonna think that those beautiful historic buildings are amazing. So anyway, Richmond became the county seat after it was determined that it was better suited for the job than the town of Centerville, Indiana, which we are going to go through. And Centerville was really pretty put off by this. They felt that they were more well suited because they were more in the center of the county. In fact, I believe that that's how they derived their name. Don't know that for sure, but I can look that up. But they're more centrally located in the county, and they just thought, hey, you know, this is ours. Why would you take it? We've got it under control. We don't want to give it up. So they excuse me, the town of Centerville took all of their county records, all of the county records, and tucked them away in the county jail because it was the strongest, most well-defended building, and the sheriff, as was required at the time, lived on the property. So, yes, if you were the sheriff back then, you lived on the jail property because that was how you guarded your folks 24/7. People didn't have police forces like they do now. So the sheriff and maybe one deputy or so would be it. Maybe a couple deputies, but not very many. And definitely not like a correctional officers department and things like that. So if you had somebody in jail and you were the sheriff, then you had to be there. So they built the sheriff's house as a part of it in order to facilitate that, and that's common. That's nothing special for this area. That's just what was done. So anyway, they put all of their county records in the county jail. What was the county jail in Centerville when Centerville was the county seat. And the folks from Richmond left that little courthouse that we just went by. They had a cannon out there, and they rolled that cannon down the very road that we're going down right now, down National 40. They rolled it down. A group of folks pushing it took it down here, and I'll finish it a little bit closer to Centerville itself. It's not very far away, but they rolled the cannon down here to get the rest, to get the county records from Centerville and bring them back to Richmond as the new county seat. So we're going to pass by a McDonald's here, and you're going to see a driveway on the right-hand side, and a stone monument right there. And that stone monument commemorated the edge of the wilderness that was created, or that at the time of the Greenville Treaty, that was the edge of civilization. So this was all kind of no man's land, Indian territory, if you will, Native American territory, as it's called now. So this all was native land. And of course, you know, we white Europeans kind of took over and said, no, this is ours now. But we'll give you this nice little stone to commemorate that this was yours. Anyway, I will get off that soapbox because that is not the purpose of this vlog. So, we are now in between Centerville and Richmond. And as you can see, National Road, Highway 40, or not Highway 40, US 40, is pretty straight. They just kind of went with it, and the reason it was so straight, or one of the things that helped it be so straight and direct, is the fact that nobody was out here. A lot of times roads had to curve around property, and nobody lived here yet, so they could just go straight. So we'll talk a little bit more about the ways that National 40 was constructed here in just a little bit. We are coming into the town of Centerville. So, as I said, that group of folks from Richmond rolled their cannon down the road that we're on right now and into the town of Centerville, which we're coming up to. The town didn't stretch this far back then, but it does now. Excuse me. I need another Starbucks sip soon. So we're coming into Centerville now, and there's the little Centerville sign on the right-hand side. And we're going to pull over just for a second. I am going to show you what is now the Centerville Library and tell you a little bit about the building. And no, I have not forgotten the men that rolled the cannon down National Road 40 here to get the papers or the records from the jailhouse of what used to be the Wayne County seat in the city of Centerville. Alrighty, so this is officially Centerville. And we're getting into the part of Centerville that was Centerville back then. Alright, so on the right-hand side here is the Centerville Public Library. And I'm going to take you guys off your little holder here for just a second. So, hold on, it's going to be bumpy. Sorry. Okay. Oh, stuck on a cord. Okay. So this was the county courthouse and the prison, county jail. If you can see, I don't know if we can, yeah, we can. They brought the cannon down here to get the records. Centerville said, no way, we're not giving them up. So Richmond fired their cannon, and you can still see cannon holes right there by the arch of the building. So that shrapnel was evidence of the great Wayne County seat battle for the records. So anyway, that building was the courthouse, was the jail, and the sheriff's house. Okay, put you guys back on your little holder here. Alrighty. Excuse me. And each year, although with the pandemic in more recent times we haven't done this, but each year the cities of Centerville and Richmond do a mock Battle of Wayne County, where each city has a team and they participate in various games to see who has bragging rights, if you will. So this is the town of Centerville. Beautiful, beautiful town. It's known as the Arch City because there are archways. I'll pull over so that way you guys can see one here on the right. There are archways built in the buildings so that way folks could get to the other side of the building. Once again, I'll take you off your stand here. So archways like that were built because the road here, National Road, used to be really, really wide, so that way horses and wagons could turn around. This was a pretty major thoroughfare, so horses and wagons had to have the ability to come through town and turn around if needed. So the road was very wide. When they paved it, or bricked it at first, they narrowed it because they were like, this is huge, we don't need this. So they bricked it, or they narrowed it when they bricked it. But there were still buildings back there, and they built new buildings closer towards the edge of the road. So the people in the back buildings were like, hey, wait a minute, nobody's going to be able to get to us. So they built archways. So that way folks could pass through the buildings on the newer, narrower road to the buildings in the back from the original expanse of the road. Alrighty, well, we're going to be in between cities for a little bit, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the road and kind of how it came into being and why it's important. So there is a theory called the ley line theory, Leyline, and ley lines are basically magnetic pulls, like a magnet would pull another magnet. As we all know, the Earth has different positives and negatives. That's how you can find north on a compass. And ley lines were like latitude and longitude, sort of now. But latitude and longitude were created by man, and the belief is that ley lines are a natural occurrence. So ley lines would often lead to water, and I honestly don't know if the water attracted the ley lines or the ley lines kind of drew the water in. I don't know what the theory is, but the theory is that they're connected. So as being a source of water, animals would of course walk paths to get to the water, to the drinking holes. And the more animals that would walk the path, the more beaten down the path would become in the mud and the trees and the grasses and stuff that was here originally. And humans who were hunting the animals would follow them on these paths. They're also known as traces, T-R-A-C-E, a trace, or a path. So the hunters would follow them. They still do that today. I mean, you go out into a forest, you look for an animal pathway, to kind of follow where the animal is and find it. So the theory was that the more animals that went to the water, the more people that followed them. The more people that followed them, the more brush and everything got beaten down. So eventually, the early 1800s, they decided, you know what? This is going to be a path. It's always going to be a path. So we're going to chop down the trees and kind of forage our way through and clear it. So they created a clear path, which at that time was still dirt and grass and rocks and everything, but the trees were pretty much cut down. And people were still in wagons, or in wagons at the time. So they were, they were used to going on dirt and rocks and everything. They just really liked the idea of not having to worry about trees. So this was a cleared path because they cut down the trees. And then they, the path started becoming really full of this is a hard one to say, wagon wheel ruts. And the ruts are kind of like the grooves that get carved into snow or ice or mud or dirt. And once you get into a rut, literally, it's hard to get out of. It's got little edges on it, and the wheels just kind of follow it like a track, almost. So this road became really full of what was called rut-ridden, and became very difficult to pass. Excuse me, even in the winter, or especially in the winter. Hang on one sec. Okay, sorry, had to take the Starbucks in. Excuse me. I apologize. In the winter, it became almost completely impassable. And, people were like, hey, we really need some way to get through this. Because, it kind of sucks, I mean, it's not the easiest thing to use. And it was one of the major pathways to the west. Now, like I said in the beginning, the west was Missouri, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Nebraska, South Dakota. That was the west at the time. Well, and, occasionally places further, but the settled west. And so this was one of the wagon trail routes from Philadelphia and places like that to the western expansion. So there were a lot of pioneers, a lot of families relocating, and they had heavy wagons and oxen, and it really dug those ruts in deeply. And so the people started kind of complaining that things were, were not so good on this road. And, by that time, people had started putting bricks on roads to kind of even them out and make them more travelable, if that's a word. Easier to travel on. And so the folks here in eastern Indiana were like, hey, we've got a road that hundreds of people travel on, and it needs to be better. It just needs to be improved. And so, and nobody was really listening. Nobody in politics was really listening, because, Indiana was kind of a wild town, and it wasn't really, cultured and things, especially not in this part of the state. Indianapolis, which is in the middle of the state, which we will be going through, was a little bit more cultured, but this was still kind of the rural wilds, if you will. So the folks kind of came up with a plan, and they kind of set up a spot for, goodness, I believe it was Harrison, but it might have been Taft, but a president's carriage to kind of get stuck on, because people would hit these ruts and it would break the axles off of their wagons and break the wheels, and those were very time-consuming things to fix. And it's not like there's Holiday Inns up and down along this area, It was kind of barren. Still is in a lot of spots, but even more so 200 years ago. So the thought was, hey, if we can get the president's carriage to break, then he will be like, hey, this road is a problem, and we need to fix it. So they thought, that's what they thought would happen by doing that. So they set up a spot for it to break, or kind of a trap, if you will, to have it break. And it didn't really break, but it threw him out of the carriage, and he was very, very angry and disgusted at the part, the road and the part of this, this wild country, and he never wanted to return. So it kind of didn't have the desired purpose or desired result for what they set out to. But eventually it did become bricked, and that was helpful for a while. There are still sections where you can still see the original brick. Probably one of the later rebrickings of it, but you can still see sections where it's bricked along the road. The road has been redrawn a few times, so we're not going to visit those old sections this trip, but I will set out to do another trip of sort of just the old sections of the road. That might be fun. And the old, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of it, but the old areas, the original, layout of the National Road. So this is the town of Cambridge City, and it was a part of the Whitewater Canal. The Whitewater Canal was a big way to ship things from the rural and farming areas up here that had a lot of farms, a lot of textiles, a lot of mills, down to Cincinnati, Ohio, and from Cincinnati out onto the Ohio River. So Cambridge City was a bustling town because it had that Whitewater Canal. There's a little bit of it to the right, kind of by the black fences. Of course, it's not filled with water anymore. But that brick house was one of the lock keeper houses. And the Whitewater Canal obviously had locks, like most canals do. And the lock keepers would live at the lock, so that way they could open and close it for passing boats. And it was kind of like the freeway. The railroads came by shortly after that was completed and kind of ran it out of business. But Okay, the left-hand side here is the Huddleston Farmhouse. That is an original building, and it is the home of the National Road Indiana, the U.S. National Road Association Indiana chapter. The Huddlestons were a Quaker family that obviously lived in that house, built that house. They had 11 children, and at the time that the Huddlestons were living there, if you owned the land, which the Huddlestons did, you could charge a toll for people to come across your land, because it's your land. So you were allowed to charge a toll. So the Huddlestons did, but they also did something that was a little bit different. They opened their house, the bottom floors, to travelers, to families, and single travelers, to be able to rest there, because that was about 1 day's ride from Ohio. So the families could rest. They could either cook their own meal in an outside kitchen or outside fire, or the Huddlestons could make, Mrs. Huddleston would cook a meal for you. And there was a barn. They had a huge barn, and you could let your horses rest. You could see about getting them reshoed. You could see about even trading them out or transferring them for another team of horses to continue your journey. So that was kind of like it was like a hotel, but it didn't really have like official rooms. You just kind of slept on the floor, but it was a welcome stop to a lot of travelers who had been, dusty and dirty and sleeping, on the ground underneath their wagons and under the tarps and stuff. So you could kind of wash up and grab a meal and have a fairly good night's sleep, and rest your horses and maybe get new horses, all there at the Huddleston Farmhouse. So that was kind of a welcome, or not kind of, it was very much a welcome spot for travelers who were trying to make their way out west. So once again, as you can tell, we're kind of in between cities. And oh goodness, okay. Sorry, I had a little bird fly into my car. Welcome to spring. All the animals are everywhere. Goodness, I am gonna sneeze. Put in the comments if you have allergies. Excuse me. I have allergies, and oh my gosh, they are kicking my tail right now. But that also means that things are warming up, because things are starting to grow. So I'm upset because I hate having allergies, but I'm also very happy with the knowledge that spring is coming. Or not necessarily, well, spring is coming, but I'm not necessarily happy about spring. Although, it's great. But I'm happy about warmth. I'm very happy that warmth is coming. I enjoy the warmth very much. So, excuse me. Allergies are tough. So as you can see, a lot of this is farmland. It has been farmland for hundreds of years. Some of these homes, and if I see one, I'll try to point it out, have what are called Indiana farmstead signs, and that means that the house has been, or the property has been in the same family for over 100 years. And they have farmed it for over 100 years. So I love seeing those signs, because it makes me feel so good that there's such roots in this area. I had an old coworker whose grandfather, I think great-grandfather, but grandfather helped build the house that she and her family live in. And I can't imagine living in a house that a family member built. That's amazing to me. Although, I mean, I can't imagine, like, building a house anyway, but to those of you who have done it, more power to you. But yeah, she said the doorways, some of the doorways are super tiny, because like most people back then, he was very short. Back in the 1800s, most men were like 5'9", and most ladies were 5'2" or so, 5 feet, somewhere around there. So people were much shorter than they are now. And she said that they don't want to or can't enlarge the doorway, because it's a part of the structure of the home. So everybody just has to duck. But she said every time they duck, they think of their great-grandfather, and sometimes grumble to him whenever they forget to duck and smack their head. So this is the little town of Strawn. Not a whole lot to this little town. I'm sure it has stories. I just don't know them. But it's a cute little town. Alrighty. Some horses out there on the right, enjoying the sunshine. It has warmed up to 39, so I am super excited about that. Yay! It's almost 40 degrees. Woohoo! Not normally something I cheer about, but it was in the 20s this morning, so it's almost doubled in temperature. Slight pit stop in Indianapolis. I'm going to pick up a friend for the drive, for the rest of the drive, and for the day's activities. The reason I'm driving out to Clay County is I'm going to be doing some paranormal investigating in some locations in that area. And my friend wanted to come, so I told her I would come by. I was going to go through, or I am going through Indianapolis anyway, because one of the main reasons to go on National Road, even back, or especially back early years was to get to Indianapolis. So this road goes literally straight through, goes right by the State House, and so she's in Indianapolis, so we're gonna go pick her up. I will mute the stream when I get her, so that way I can tell her that, you know, we have the stream going, and that way she knows before she begins to speak. Just in case, you know, she has any conversations that she would prefer not be broadcast on YouTube. And then I will go ahead and unmute the stream as we continue. This is the town of Louisville, and the green and white sign on the right-hand side, I'll kind of go slowly here, that says Gyer on it, G-Y-E-R. Ooh, miracle. Okay. Oh, hey, kitty. Go on, kitty cat. There you go. Okay. That was, that building that's at Gyer was an opera house and a theater and a vaudevillian theater and all kinds of things. It had commercial space down below. So that was one of the defining buildings in the town of Louisville. And if you notice, a lot of these little towns are down kind of in valleys. And that was simply because they built the town along the edge of the river, so that way they could get water. I mean, makes sense. And rivers are typically, have typically carved little valleys out of the land. So, not all of them, but a lot of the little towns and bigger towns. Indianapolis is a town that was founded on a waterway too, and Cincinnati and all that. So, a lot of towns were founded on waterways for a lot of reasons. Message in the comments. Do you guys need to have like travel liquids or drinks? I mean, not like alcoholic drinks, but like, do you need to just have a can or a bottle or a cup of liquids with you when you travel? I don't know, for some reason I do. It's almost like a safety blanket. I don't know if I think, you know, if I get stuck on the side of the road, I might get thirsty, or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I always have to have a drink with me, whether it be Starbucks or a soda or something. I just have to have a drink. Have to have a cup. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. So, as I said in the very beginning, I stopped by Starbucks at the start of this, so that way I could get my drinks and be ready to hit the road. So tell me down in the comments, what are some of your favorite road trip munchies? Because I know that like 99% of the people in the world have got to have trip munchies, and I am definitely a member of that club. I love my trip munchies. And in the winter, I usually have actual food in the car. In case I get stuck on the road, I usually have a couple cans of chicken, some beef jerky, some peanut butter, things that don't need to be refrigerated but have a lot of protein. In case, you know, something weird and random happens that I get stuck on the side of the road and I can't get anywhere, I do have food. And I guess I should keep that throughout the year. I think I have some turkey in the car still. But I always think about it in the winter because travel conditions are often much worse in the winter. But in all actuality, I mean, you know, you could get stranded in the middle of summer and need to have, you know, be able to have food. Although typically in the less snowy winter months, it would be easier for somebody to get to you if you were stranded. Ooh, that was, I couldn't read all of it, but it was somebody's pork pit truck. That sounds kind of good. Speaking of road trip munchies. But yeah, what kind of munchies do you guys like to bring on your road trips? I have a list of good munchies and bad munchies in terms of like health. Healthy munchies and non-healthy munchies, I'll put it that way, not good and bad. Some of my bad munchies that I really like are like Cheetos, Wheat Thins, Ritz crackers. Currently, right now, I'm kind of stuck on like graham crackers for some reason. I'm like really, really into graham crackers right now. I don't know if others kind of have those little tendencies where you're just like, man, all I want right now are graham crackers or whatever. That's kind of my current little stuck on food. But some of my healthier snacks are pistachios and different kinds of nuts. I really like those. I love cheese, although cheese is kind of a hard one to bring on a road trip, but sometimes on longer road trips I have refrigerated bags, or insulated bags, not refrigerated, and so I will grab some cheese and stuff like that and put them in those insulated bags and put them on the floor of the car, and so that they stay pretty cold for a while. And usually cheese doesn't last very long with me. I'm kind of a cheese person, but and we have an Amish store just north of where I live, and they make fresh cheese and meat and bread. They make fresh everything, and everything that they make is amazing. So sometimes before a road trip, I'll go to the Amish store and get like a sandwich or some cheese, some different kinds of cheese to munch on, and they'll cut it up for you. They'll cube it, they'll slice it, they'll give you a big brick if you want to just gnaw on the edge. Not that I've done that, no, I'm kidding, I really haven't, but it's been a thought sometimes. They'll also give you meat if you want to have that. And one of the things that I have done in the past is I've gone over and bought some Ritz crackers or any Wheat Thins or whatever, and stopped by the Amish store and had them slice up some salami and some cheese, and then as I travel, I'll pull over every once in a while when I see a nice spot and just kind of have some cheese and crackers and meat for a little snack, and then continue on my way. So that's kind of a yummy thing to do. Alrighty, well, we are coming up to the town of Knightstown in just a little bit here, and Knightstown was named after Jonathan Knight, and he owned the land. And if this road in this area looks a little familiar, the movie Hoosiers, with, I believe it was Warren Beatty, the Indiana basketball movie Hoosiers, Hoosiers, Hoosiers. Excuse me, it was filmed in Knightstown here. And they did some filming outside of the town, but most of it was most of the inside the gym and the school was filmed here in Knightstown. There, some of the other area or locations for filming of it was in the town of New Richmond on the other side of the state. So, but a few of the outside shots were filmed here in Knightstown, and like I said, all of the inside shots with the gym and the school were filmed inside the old high school of Knightstown. There's a historic roadside, National Road sign. This is Knightstown. Cute little town. And National Road goes through the southern part of the town, so there's much more to Knightstown than this. But this is the historic section, because as you would imagine, this National Road 40 would go through the town, the part of town of Knightstown that was built during that time, or that existed during that time. So this is kind of the older part of town, but I think it's beautiful. So apparently Knightstown is getting a new intermediate school. Alrighty. Good for them. There's a sign next to that McCollum Street sign that says National Road 1808, which is when it was begun to be built. The road that built the nation is kind of the little motto of the National Road. The National Road being funded, like I said, it was funded by Jefferson, and it started, they wanted, number one, they wanted to have a road that kind of, you know, people could use to get to the west, of course, like I said, but they also, we were a young nation back then in the early 1800s. Like that sign said, it was started in 1808. It was finished in 1811. But we were a young nation, and the states were kind of fledgling. They didn't really know if they could trust this seat of power all the way over in Washington, D.C., or Maryland area. And they didn't really think that the folks that were out there, that were in charge, really had their backs. They kind of felt like, you know, we're out here on the edges, and, you know, you people don't care about us. We're too far away from you. And of course, that was long before telephones or anything like that. So, you know, they were really out of touch. So Jefferson's cabinet kind of were like, you know, we need a way to let the states out there know that we really do value them, that we do feel like they're a part of the country. And oh goodness, somebody dropped a trash bag. Okay. That, you know, that we feel that those states are a part of the country, and that we value them, and that we support them. So this was the first federally funded road in the country. And they did that to show the states, hey, you know what? We want to unify you. We want to connect all of us together, and we'll pay for it. We will do this to support people moving through your area and moving west, because a lot of the people that were moving west, kind of would find a nice place to settle down and they would stay there. So, a lot of these little towns were founded by quote-unquote pioneers who were like, we've really kind of gone as far as we want to. This looks like a nice area. We're just going to settle down here, and, we can get some land and we can farm right here. So the westward movement was obviously populating these, this area of the country in these states. And the government, the U.S. government was like, we like that and we want to support it. And we want people that live out here to feel just as protected and just as valued by the government as the people who live in New York and Pennsylvania and Maryland and all of those places. So the federal government funded the national road. So this is Hancock County, named after John Hancock. They wanted to kind of, show their pride, so they're like, well, what's the coolest person we can name this after? And in their mind, it was John Hancock, so welcome to Hancock County, Indiana. Tiny little town of Charlottesville. Back into farmland. You'll notice a trend here. In some areas, you never know when one city ends and one city begins except for the address. Here in this part of Indiana, you definitely know when one city ends and one city begins, because there's usually a bunch of land like this in between them. It's not as common in the central part of the state, but definitely common in this part of the state. Excuse me. And once again, National Road goes kind of along the older part of the state. US 70, Interstate 70, goes along through the central part, and when US 70 was built in the 60s, I believe, it drew a lot of commercial and residential and cities up towards it, which is common. I mean, people want to settle by an interstate. So these towns around 40 have grown, and they've kind of ebbed and flowed. They've grown and decreased, grown and shrunk several times, I'm sure. But it's kind of like the old adage, they built the highway and it bypassed us. So a lot of these little cities were bypassed when I-70 came in, and their commercialism and their traffic went to I-70. There are still several people. There is still some traffic on US 40. As you can see, there's still, cars coming by. Obviously not as busy as an interstate by any means. But that's kind kind of one of the reasons I really love it. I love, number one, I love the history. Number two, I love that you can almost feel the history and the families and the energies of this road. Especially early morning and late night. You can just kind of feel all of the energy from it. I don't know how to explain that. Some of that also may be the energy from the ley line, if you believe in that theory. But I also love the slowness. This is just, it's easy. It's not, back-to-back traffic and semi-trucks and construction and, road rage and all that. It's just a very easy, calm, peaceful drive. And whenever I get the opportunity, I always take US 40. I always take National Road when I can. One of my favorite things is to stay there, silver car. One of my favorite things is to go is to watch the surroundings of this road change in the seasons. I absolutely love to see it in the spring, summer, and fall, and deep in each season. I love seeing how it changes. It's just so beautiful to me to see the differences in the colors and the plants and all of that, and you really kind of see it come alive in the spring and just sort of thrive in the summer, and then get ready for the autumn splendor. And then in the winter, of course, everything dies, but it's still very pretty in a light snow, as long as the road isn't covered, in my opinion. Okay, we're coming into the town of Greenfield. Greenfield, Indiana, has a lot of notable people that have been residents here. Two of the more common ones, or more well-known residents, is the gymnast J.C. Phelps. She was a member of the gold-winning, I believe it was 1998, U.S. gymnastics team. So she lived here, and in fact, she has a road named after her, which is coming up in a little bit. And the author and poet, sorry, hold on one sec. Okay, this is J.C. Phelps Road, where that truck is turning off of. And the author and poet, Riley, and he, hold on, let me let this guy past me, because he's going to get upset, because I'm only going the speed limit. Go on past me too, red car, please. Okay, fine. So he was the author of the Little Orphan Annie series, or books, and they were tales based on true accounts of Riley's childhood. And Riley's father, excuse me, was an attorney in town, and he was a pretty prominent attorney. And oh, okay. I thought that they were doing a road construction or something on this road, and I was like, well, it doesn't look like it. Anyway, Riley's father was a prominent attorney in this town, and as such, he was able to take in orphans from the orphan train and kind of give them a place to live. And many times these orphans would if they were boys, they would help on the farm, and if they were girls, they would help with the family. And I know that that's super patronistic and, gender, not very, they're very gender biased and all of that. But this was in the 1800s, and so, yes, women and girls worked in the house, and men and boys worked on the farm. And that's just how it was back then. But Annie, or Allie, which I'll explain that in a minute, but she was an orphan girl that the Rileys took in to help raise the family and help with the housing, the chores and stuff with the house. And she would tell Riley and his brother, John and his brother, these stories to help them to get, to help them to finish their chores or whatever. She would basically scare them into, doing their chores. And but some of the stories were fun, and she would also regale them with stories of her childhood and the places that she had seen and been. And of course, we don't know if the stories that she told of her childhood were accurate or not, because we don't know. But she would tell them these stories, and so John would go and tell these stories to other friends, and the friends were enthralled by the stories too, and he became a writer, poet, and he was like, hey, everybody seems to really like these stories that our little orphan girl told, so I'm going to publish some of those. So he wrote the stories down, and he, of course, at the time, everything was written in pen, and then sent over to the typesetter to be printed. I'll pull over at the Riley Museum here for just a moment. So this is Riley's house. James, not John. He wrote the stories down, sent them to his publisher, and the typesetter wasn't able to read James's chicken scratch, as he called it, and he misread James's L script, L, the cursive L, for an N, so little orphan Allie became little orphan Annie. So the little girl's name was actually Allie, A-L-L-I-E, but the typesetter couldn't read James Wickham Riley's writing, so he took it as Annie, A-N-N-I-E, and so now we know the stories as Little Orphan Annie, or Orphaned Annie, which was the term used back then. You are an orphan, and you speak of orphans. So that's kind of the that is the story of James Whitcomb Riley in Greencastle, Indiana. He is buried here, he is not buried here. He is buried in Indianapolis, which is where he moved to later in life and owned a home and did all kinds of incredible things out there. But Annie, or Allie, is buried here. And I believe that she has Annie on her headstone. I will have to check in on that, but I believe that that's correct. I don't know if it was Allie and they changed it to Annie, but I believe that the mistake was made while she was still alive, before she passed. So they might have just made the headstone Annie. I don't know. But she is buried in the local cemetery here. So this is the outskirts of the town of Greenfield. Based on the ley line theory, a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine and I, we both enjoy paranormal investigating and just taking random drives. So one day, a few summers ago, he and I took our K2 meters, which is basically a meter that measures electrical magnetic fields, and we velcroed them to the dashboard of my car, and we drove this road all the way from Ohio to Illinois, all the way across the state. And I drove and he was the co-pilot. There are parts of this road that do turn off. It is a pretty straight road, but some of it jogs a little bit. But so he was good to help on that. Plus, he would mark down whenever the electromagnetic meter would spike. So, and I know I said before that ley lines have electrical poles. We took that into consideration, so we knew that there was a baseline electrical charge of such and such number, and so we defined it as a spike if it went, a set amount beyond that number. So, but we started out one morning at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we drove all the way across the state, had lunch, and then drove all the way across back. And basically to see, which areas spiked. And we actually had planned to do that during different seasons. That was the middle part of the summer, and so we were going to go back in the middle part of the fall. Not really sure about the middle part of winter. That might have been a little iffy, just because I'm not the most interested in driving in snow at all, let alone all the way across the state. But then we obviously could have come back and done it in the middle of spring. Unfortunately, we never got around to doing that. My friend passed away. So, but you know what? I may do that again in his honor. And just kind of, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe. To the left where that car was pulling in is where little orphan Danny, or Allie, was buried. Is buried. I'm assuming she's still there. I don't know. So as you can see, the space in between the towns is getting smaller, or less, because we're coming into Indianapolis, or getting closer to Indianapolis. And over here in the town of Cumberland, which was named after Cumberland, Maryland, which, as I said in the beginning of the stream, is where National Road, where the eastern terminus is. So Cumberland, Cumberland, Indiana wanted to be connected with Cumberland, Maryland, so they named it after Cumberland. I should have mentioned this earlier, but I'm not sure if you guys are chatting or not. I can't see chat, so I don't know. So if you are chatting and I'm not responding, I apologize. I do not have chat capabilities on my screen. So if you are chatting with each other, that's great. Please continue that. I love when people meet and talk and have good conversation. And if you're chatting with me, I apologize because it's a one-sided conversation. I'm sorry, but I don't have access to chat on my screen. So I'm not trying to ignore you. I just literally cannot see. I do not have any chat on my screen. So that, and the fact that I'm driving, I wouldn't really be paying attention to chat anyway, because you guys are amazing and I love you all, but my eyes and attention need to be on the road, because you know, I'm driving. So if you like this kind of stuff, if you like road trips and history and things like that, some paranormal stuff and some Disney. It's a little bit of a grab bag. If you like that kind of stuff, please consider subscribing. And if you're enjoying this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. It lets YouTube know that I'm doing stuff that folks like. And it also helps you out because it tells YouTube what kind of stuff you like, so it can suggest more things like this to you in your feed. So thumbs up helps both of us out. So please do that if you don't mind. It's completely free. Just takes a quarter of a second to tap that like button. Tap it or smash it or push it or rub it or whatever the heck you would like to do. Whatever action word you would like to put in there, please do so. Alrighty, we are starting to come into Indianapolis. Well, we're going to come to Cumberland first, like I mentioned, but then into Indianapolis. Yourself rear-ended. And no, I am not speeding. As you can tell from the speed limit sign up here, the speed limit is 55 miles an hour. I hope if that person continues to go that slowly that they put their hazard lights on, because somebody is going to smash them. I am going to pull in. Oh, we are actually in the town of Cumberland now. So everyone, welcome to Cumberland, Indiana. I am going to pull into the parking lot. One of these parking lots up here. Let's see. Which one looks good? I think maybe I'll do... Oh, I should have done Pizza King. Oh well. I will do Dollar General. Pull into Dollar General here. And... let's see. we'll go back this way. Okay. I should have just stayed in the first place. Oh, yes. Okay. I'm going to take you off the holder for a moment. And I apologize, but I'm going to turn you sideways for just a sec. Because I am going to let my friend know that I am in Indy. And I am also going to start my Waze app, so that way I can get directions to where I'm picking her up at. Okay, you may or may not hear...
Let's take East Washington Street, Indianapolis. Arrival time on this route is similar to East Washington Street, English Avenue, Indianapolis.
Okay, so we're 10 miles away from her, which is good. Okay. No.
We're all set, let's go. Turn right on South Carroll Road.
Okay. Sorry about that quick stop for just a sec. Okay, which way you headed, Van? I would say left, but nope, you're headed right. Yeah, from the left-hand side of the driveway. Good idea. Okay. Alrighty, we are back on the road.
Continue straight for 25 minutes to South Pennsylvania Street.
Alright, so I'm sorry if you can hear her talking. Sorry. Ooh, it is 43 degrees. Yay! Alrighty. This is the town of Cumberland, or the eastern side of Indianapolis. Coming into the big city. There's a big brick building coming up on the right-hand side. I think you can see now. That is the old German church, and we're going through German Church Road right now. That church shut down, gosh, about 10 years ago. Has been slated for demolition several times. Has been saved each time. And now is going to be turned into senior housing, which I think is amazing. Although I'll be honest with you, I think it's a little bit of a cruel joke to have senior housing with a church that has a huge graveyard. Oh, geez, car. Okay. I was expecting that car to turn right, not left. Certainly not left in front of oncoming traffic. But, so anyway, that church has an amazing cemetery with it. Beautiful, in my opinion. But I do also think that it's ironic and a little cruel to have senior housing next to a cemetery that's like 5 blocks long. It's a huge cemetery, and I think that that's a little cruel. But whatever, they didn't tear it down, so I'm happy. Okay, I think the car in front of us, the red car, I think has Easter Bunny ears. I think that's what the bubbles are on the top. I don't know. Yeah, there's a pink. Okay. Oh, I wonder if they have a little nose on the grill. I like it. Oh, good. I do get to be next to them. Yep, they have Easter Bunny ears. Here. See if I can get her attention. Hey. Hey. Huh? Okay. She is not paying attention to me. Anyway, I was going to tell her that I liked her ears. She also has little egg Klingons on the window. It's cute. She definitely has the bunny mobile going on. I don't know if you... Okay, yeah, you can kind of see her up there now. She's got the little ears clipped on the way some people have the reindeer antlers in Christmas. She does have a little bunny nose. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's cute. She's got a little pink bunny nose on her grill. Like the people who have the reindeer have the Rudolph nose. She has a little pink bunny nose. That is so cute. Okay, I'm not a huge Easter fan, but that is really, really cute. I like that kind of stuff. I am a schmuck for those kind of things. Anyway, we are officially within the city limits of Indianapolis, and we're going to be coming up on the neighborhood of Irvington, which I have done several videos on, but I absolutely love Irvington. If I ever lived in Indianapolis, that would be one of my first choices of locations to live. It is just a magical, kind of mysterious, town, in my opinion. Lots and lots of horrible things have happened there, though, too, and I'm not trying to overlook that. It's only about, well, all the major bad stuff happened within about a 2-mile radius. Okay, that's a bag. To make sure that wasn't an animal. But Irvington is amazing, and we're gonna come up to it after we pass underneath this freeway. And it is just a cute little town, I think. Has an immense history, like I said, some very bad. If you want to know more about it, I will do videos specifically on it, but look back on my channel for Irvington videos. I will do more on them, on it, but excuse me. I don't really care what music it is, but I don't want to listen to everybody else's music. keep your music in your car, please. I mean, even if it's a song I like, if I want to listen to it, I will play it in my own vehicle. And I don't mind, like, I'm sitting next to them at the stoplight and we both have our windows down, but this silver car has his window down very slightly. I was 2 cars away from him with my windows up and could plainly hear the lyrics to his music. That, I think, is excessive. Okay. All right, what are we doing here, folks? I misspoke. Irvington wasn't after that freeway, it's after this road, which we are coming up to now. This road is terrible. Oh. We're in the town of Irvington, which I just love. Like I said, if I had to live in the Indianapolis area, this would be the town that I would like to live in. Okay. We're coming closer to where I'm going to pick my friend up. And like I said, at that time, I am going to mute the stream for just a little bit, so that way she and I can talk about a few things and get all settled before our conversation becomes published on or broadcast on YouTube. So bear with that mute for just a little bit, but not right now. It'll be in a little bit. We are coming into main town Irvington, historic and downtown, if you will. Excuse me. Goodness, I can't even see the hood of the car behind me. I think he wants to be in my back seat. No free rides back there, mister. Or Ms. You have to drive your own vehicle. Can't drive mine. if any of you are in the area and want some really good pizza, you guys need to go to Giacomo's Pizza. It is in this black and brown building in front of us on the right-hand side, and it is amazing. That is a very old historic strip mall. Well, not strip mall. It was a collection of shops. That one on the corner used to be a soda fountain. And that was one of the first places John Dillinger ever robbed. He was going by the name Dirty Dan Dillinger at the time, and he cleared the counter with one hop. And he, at that time, he was known as being very kind and almost bashful. He raised his gun up and said, "Don't look at me, look at the floor." And he got the money and he ran outside, and little did he know that his getaway driver had just executed the most perfect parallel parking job that he had ever done. And of course, John Dillinger jumped in the car and said, "Punch it, go." And the driver pulled forward, hit the car in front of him, pulled backward, hit the car behind him, bounced around like that for a few times, and then turned and eventually got out. But Dillinger grew up around this area, and from there, from that robbery, they drove over to Ohio, and then over back through to Chicago eventually, and he was captured in Chicago. But yeah, that was that soda fountain was robbed by a young John Dillinger, then known as Dirty Dan Dillinger. And it was Dirty Dan Dillinger and the White Cap Gang, or the Black Cap Gang. Some cap game. So when people heard about that, they all went out and grabbed caps of the same color to, kind of be cool like that, the same way, people wear football and baseball and basketball jerseys now. They wanted to be, associated with the gang. But that kind of backfired because it made them very difficult to identify with the general public mixed in. So, yeah, that was the local law enforcement tried to kind of discourage people from doing that. So anyway, we're getting more into actual Indianapolis now. Still sort of on the eastern edge. I hope that detour sign is not for us. Don't think it is, but I hope not. With the pandemic and everything being closed, I haven't driven down here for a while, so I don't know what construction work or road construction is going on. Thank you. Sheesh, the guy behind me is going to rear end me, and the guy in front of me just stopped short. Yeesh, people. I don't want to be in between the two of you. You guys are scaring me. White Castle. Do you guys like White Castles? I know some people do and some people don't, and they kind of have the same, shall we say, effect on everybody, but some people don't mind the effect because they enjoy the White Castle, and some people, the effect on them digestively is enough to be like, nah, I don't want to eat that ever again. I'm kind of a White Castle fan. My dad grew up in Chicago, so White Castle was always kind of a childhood favorite of his. What are you stopping like 4 cars back for? People. Okay. This car is still like a car length. But okay, whatever. Sorry, I'm getting a little grumpy with drivers. The car in front of me is like 3 car lengths behind everybody, and the car behind me is like in my back seat. I don't know if you can. Come on, car. Literally, the car in front of the car in front of me is all the way past that crosswalk. Well, I guess she gave enough room for the car for the
In 1.6 miles, turn left on South Pennsylvania Street.
To get past the bus, so that was nice. Alrighty, you can start seeing the Indianapolis skyline on the right, past the AutoZone and Family Dollar sign. Gosh. Lady, you're killing me back here. And I can't pass you because the other cars are spaced out. Yay, the car behind me finally turned. That makes me feel better. Okay, the car in front of this one is at the stoplight up there that I don't even know if you can see the stoplight up there. Now we're a block away from the stoplight. Oh my gosh. Into downtown Indianapolis. always makes me feel like I'm going left of center or something. Okay, I am looking for Pennsylvania. Washington Street is the main east and west road through Indianapolis. Like I said, 40 goes directly through the city, east-west. So after we pick up my friend, we will be getting back on 40, and we will be driving past the State House. Right now, the Final Four is in town for basketball, which is going to make this a little more fun too. Although, without very many people attending, it shouldn't be too bad in terms of traffic, except my friend is staying at a hotel that's over by the Bankers Life Fieldhouse, which is where the basketball is being held. So we'll see how things are in that area. I am a UCLA fan, so go Bruins. I did not choose a basketball bracket, but I have a feeling I would be the only one of my friends and or family maybe to still be in the race, because I would have chosen UCLA when nobody else would have.
In 1,000 feet, turn left on South Pennsylvania Street.
Oh, okay. That is a red light person. That person just went through a red light. Okay. Well, I am going to stop at the red light. A good time for a Starbucks sip. Yay, road construction, I guess. Thank Get out of here.
So do you have this place we're going in? I just GPS everything, because my sense of direction, if you have not realized yet, sucks a rock.
I do, but hang on.
Okay, so what's the address of the first place we're going? I just do everything on GPS.
Hang on. 1 sec. Let me. I just want to pull over.
Yeah, you know what I do when
Is this
that?
one way?
I pull over to like RVs. I just like go in the parking lot and figure out where I'm going. That's the kind of stuff I do.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go straight. Okay, people, stop.
I do that too. It's like, leave me alone. I'm doing the best I can.
I know, yeah. Like, wait a minute.
Okay, so what's the name of the first place?
It's in my ways. It's 100 Step Cemetery.
Okay, because some of them I could pull up, and others it wouldn't come
Yeah.
up in the directions. So,
Yeah. By the way, we are live on YouTube, just so you know.
well, that maybe added a little bit of amusement, my chaos there.
So, hang on, YouTubers. Just a minute. Trying to figure out where we're headed.
How big's your audience? She says with trepidation.
I don't know at the moment, but that's why I warned you yesterday.
Nope, you're right.
I was like, just so you know. That was originally I was going to stay here last night, but that didn't come out.
Well, heck, you could have stayed with me.
Not here, but somewhere closer to here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you should let me know.
But it didn't, well, thank you, but it didn't go through, so. I had child care trouble.
Oh, I got a great doggy care place, which is where I dropped him off at.
Oh, really?
Because
cool.
it's down in Greenwood, but I really like it. The ladies at Vet Tech.
Oh, nice.
And,
okay.
So I had to drive down and back, but
Yeah.
I have to pack and load the car tomorrow. So I didn't really want the dogs helping, because if I'm carrying everything in and out, Latte gets kind of distressed.
Yes.
And then I'm on the 8th floor, so it takes a bit, and you go to, and then out into the garage, and then up, and then so
Yeah.
I just put them in there.
Let's see, 100.
So that means I have to be polite or nice because we're on YouTube?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just kind of, don't have
Not
to be
being myself,
polite, but just
In
like,
500 feet, use the right lane to turn right. Then turn left.
yeah.
Oh, shame. You said to have fun.
Okay, so, nope, I don't want to shut down. Okay. Oh, okay, we don't have anybody at the moment. Good. Yay.
So, if this is live, then is it also recorded for posterity on YouTube, or is it just live?
It's recorded too.
Okay. Well, then I won't tell you about this really great book on tape I was listening to you might like. That might distract, or is that okay, or is that...
Yeah, it's okay.
So, Autumn recommended it to me. And
This is two-way, right? The road out there?
I think so. I'll put my glasses on so I can hopefully...
There's so many one-ways around here that I don't know.
That's why I just put everything on GPS.
Nope, it is one way. Okay. Thank you for the sign. Okay. Hang on, folks. We're trying to get back on track. Let's see. Anybody around that I can squish? Okay. That is one way too.
Yeah, you don't always know if they park going both directions, right?
I know, yeah.
Yeah, I was at the little place next door, the Galleria Pastry Shop or whatever it is, which is that place I've had breakfast with the dogs outside.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they have the croissants and gravy, and they have the little...
Turn left on South Madison Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've noticed my GPS doesn't always know when it's a one-way street. It tells me to go the wrong way on a one-way
Yes,
street.
that's why I was asking all those questions, because I have been told to do that too. And
Well, if you're there, you kind of know, right? Not
Yeah.
there, but if you're there, you kind of know. But I literally just...
In a quarter of a mile, keep right to I-70 West, St. Louis.
no, I'm not taking the freeway. I thought you knew that ways.
Is there like a setting?
There is, but I need to.
So, is it this side of Brazil or that side of Brazil? Like, if we
have
put in Brazil and
In 1,000 feet,
it's going the right direction,
keep right.
I have no idea. I've never been anywhere near this.
Okay. Now, let me see here.
Let's see, let me find the gate might be closed, but I'm just going to pull in here. Oh, the gate is open. Okay.
Oh, hey, we got
Cool.
plenty of room.
Yay.
We can convert to our heart's content.
Yes. All right, everybody.
Directions.
This is the Lucas
In
Oil
400
Stadium,
feet, turn left.
where the
Then turn
Indianapolis
left.
Colts play.
Yes.
Although-
yeah, that's like one block over, and then
Not right now.
No, but they're doing some of the playoffs, and I guess the Final Four is this weekend.
Yes. Yep.
And then the
UCLA.
championship game is. Oh, so you might be into this. Do you follow basketball?
Well, not really, but I like UCLA.
Well,
so
that's what I figured. That's why I said we might be into this.
yeah. I was kind of joking with the crew on here that I might have been, had I been in one of the bracket things, I might have been one of the only people still in the bracket because I liked UCLA and I don't know enough to know that they shouldn't be in there.
Ah.
So yeah, I know very little about basketball. Sorry, Indiana. I do have, okay, avoid freeways is on. What the heck?
It is on. That's right.
I'm like, how did I? Okay.
I was going to set mine for that, but if you already got that on there, it apparently isn't going to do any good.
Oh, okay. You don't get on the freeway. Yeah? 6, 7. Oh, okay. No.
Sometimes it just like takes you to the next road or something, you know?
Okay, yeah. I do Russell Avenue to Morris to Holt to Oliver to Washington again. What the? Can't we just turn left and get back on Washington? Ugh. Okay, sorry everybody. Hold on. I'm back into the holder for you.
Well, that's one thing about the dead. They're not going anywhere, right?
That's true. Yes. You know, since this is a
Or if
two-lane
they are,
road.
it's not going to matter. I mean, like,
Yeah.
interdimensional, right? So.
Exactly. They'll come back eventually. You know what? I think this is a two. Is this one way? No, this is two-way. There's a stoplight headed our direction.
I really
Good.
appreciate you driving. I just didn't think I could drive that much. I'm
Turn
sick
right
and
on
my
South
arms are
Madison
like-
Avenue.
I just hurt. My shoulders hurt, and my arms feel like there's wires going through them. You know, and I got to drive to Richmond tomorrow, and then back and forth for the rest of the week. I'm just going to commute because I think the dogs would be happier being home
Yeah.
this last week. Even when I dropped her off, Latte really likes this place, and she always has a good time.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like barking and waiting at the door for me, like not to
Aw.
leave. And
Aw.
Latte has never done that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Riley, yes. Latte, no. So I was like, yeah, it's time to just let them. I mean, even if I'm gone kind of a long day, they just cavort in the backyard and lay out there and chew sticks.
Yeah.
You know, they come in and out. And...
Oh, by the way, folks, this is my friend Jennifer, who you're hearing,
Oh, hi.
and she is talking about her little furry ones. Latte, who's a corgi, and Riley, who is a Australian Shepherd,
Yeah, miniature Australian Shepherd.
miniature Australian Shepherd.
Use the left lane to turn left on West South Street.
No. Oh, hey, look, Final Four stuff.
Imagine that.
Gee, really?
Yeah.
I should get a UCLA Final Four shirt.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got a team store right across from the hotel.
In a quarter of a mile. Use the right lane to turn right.
Okay, we're going to be next to a trash truck. Sorry, folks. The Soldiers and Sailors Monument is right in front of us. That was dedicated in the 1800s to those from Indiana who were killed in war, obviously. But it's a beautiful monument. There's actually an observation deck at the top underneath the statue. I forget the statue's name.
Is it Victory or something, maybe?
Yeah, Victory. Yes.
It looks like the goddess. She's got the sword and the
Yeah.
torch or whatever.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta leave a mask.
And, oh, okay, well, we have the Final Four in town, so there's some blocked off roads and things up here, too. So, wow, they have official social distancing signs. Okay.
Turn right on East Maryland Street. Then turn right on South Pennsylvania Street.
I'm going to go up to Washington.
Use the left lane to turn left on West Washington Street.
Alright. There have been a few deaths at the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. People have jumped.
Oh, wow.
And reportedly is haunted by a young woman who sobs. I don't know. I haven't met her. This is the...
In 1.5 miles, turn right on North White River Parkway West Drive.
Yes. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear the Waze lady, but she keeps interrupting. With, like, telling me directions and everything. I mean, come on. That was the Indianapolis Arts Garden. They hold free art events. And that's the Murat Theater. Beautiful theater.
That's supposed to be haunted, right? Didn't I?
Yes.
Because when I was trying to figure out where these cemeteries were yesterday,
Yep.
it brought up like haunted places in Indiana.
Yeah.
There were several in Indianapolis, and I do believe that was one of them.
That is the Indianapolis State House, or State Capitol to the right, that I just ran over a thing that I should have avoided.
Pedestrian.
Oh, well, pedestrian. It was not a pedestrian. It was a pothole named Jim. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, some of the potholes have birth certificates around here.
Exactly, yes. Yes, we have watched them be born. Okay. And that is the JW Marriott to the left with the final four brackets pasted on the front, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of intense. Okay.
Yeah, it's been everywhere around here.
Yeah, I guess. The Eiteljorg Museum, who is named after, I think James Eiteljorg? Jim Eiteljorg? Something Eiteljorg was his last name. Gentleman who had a large quantity of artifacts and bequeathed them to the city. Oh gosh, sorry. These potholes are killing me, man.
You should see some of the neighborhoods I go into. The whole street is pothole. There's almost no baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We are now crossing over the Whitewater River, the central fork of the Whitewater River. We will also, I think, be crossing over the western fork. Oh, she's got ears on. This must be an Easter Bunny 5K or something. Something like that. We're coming up on the Indianapolis Zoo. So, there's that. Do you have a drink? I'm sorry. I have like all the drink holders.
That's okay. Mine has a screw top on it, so I can just screw the top on and just set it to the side. It's not like a cup, it's a bottle.
Okay, I will be finished with one of these soon. I started out at Starbucks this morning because I was like, I need some caffeine. Oh, Lordy.
You want a croissant?
Sure.
Okay. We have the chocolate filled. We have the plain. We have the almond thingy. And then that, which looks a little messy to eat when you dry. But these are the chocolate filled. And then, yeah.
I think the chocolate filled, please.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yum.
I've tried their breakfast. I tried one of their plain croissants once, but that's it. So I figured, while I'm still next door there, I will try them. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hang on, person turning. I know. Sorry. Trying to eat.
In 1,000 feet, turn right.
Oh, seriously?
Would you hate that?
You know what? I'm going to ignore you for the moment. There are some napkins in the glove box.
Turn right on North White River Parkway West Drive.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, person behind me. Yum.
Turn right. Then turn right.
I get it. You want me to go right.
Approaching a railroad crossing.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness, they're really specific.
Yeah. It used to do the bells. It would scare the hell out of me, like bing, ding, 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 ding.
Really?
I'm like, what? And it'd be like approaching a railroad. I'm like, son of a. So I'm really kind of glad they just have the verbiage now. Okay, so, well, I can. I'm going to get into the right lane because I think I need to go right. Now watch, I'm going to need to go left.
Probably now.
Because I missed it. So now, oh my gosh. Oh, glad I put air in my tires. Holy macanoli. Okay, what did you give up on me, Waze, or what? there's school buses everywhere. It's Saturday, isn't it?
I don't know. Maybe they're taking people to the game or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Field
yeah,
trips
maybe.
or teaching math through the brackets.
Percentages and probabilities. I could take that course. I need that course. I don't understand. I'm still one of those people that chooses racehorses based on the name or the color. Like, this one's wearing blue. I like it. My dad and brother, who are like proficient gamblers, are like, are you serious? Their odds are blah, blah, blah. And the jockeys' last 15 races were, whatever. I'm like, but they're wearing blue. That's pretty.
And somebody thought enough to enter him, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
they must have a chance.
Like, such and such and such raindrop, and I like weather,
So you'd be like that little girl in All Dogs Go to Heaven.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't
but
seen that
probably.
movie? Oh my
Uh-uh.
God, you got to see that movie. It's animated, and she can talk to talk to animals. So Burt Reynolds is this sort of ne'er-do-well gambling. He runs a gambling den with another stray dog. And,
Of course.
Turn right on North Tibbs Avenue.
Because most stray dogs do.
Right, and so he's not a very nice dog, but all dogs go to heaven because they're so loving and loyal, except he's not. So when he dies, he cheats and he goes back to Earth.
Oh.
But the little girl can talk to the horses, so she always knows who's going to win the race.
I like it.
And he's trying to get back at his partner and yada, 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 And of course, he's redeemed through, learning to love. And I mean, it's a cute little...
Oh, yeah, it's Disney.
But I watched it again the other night because my kids liked it when they were little, and it's just sweet and funny. And
Yeah.
In half a mile,
Ooh, there's
turn
a
left on
cemetery.
West Michigan Street.
This cemetery looks nice.
I love cemeteries.
Me too. Oh, goodness.
Puts everything in perspective.
Somebody drove through that. That sucks. Oh, poor headstone. Okay, where did it say to go left? She'll tell me again.
I was listening to you talk about cemeteries.
Yeah. Me too.
In 1,000 feet, turn left.
At the light? I hate it when she's like 1,000
No.
feet. I'm like, I don't know what 1,000 feet is. Like, is that
Will
like
she tell you again?
2 blocks? Yeah, she'll say, turn left here.
Turn left on West Michigan Street.
There you go. Now you tell me the dang street name. You could have said that when you said 1,000 feet, because I don't know what that looks like.
I know. I'm the same way.
Like, tell me, in 2 blocks. Or like I said, just tell me the street name. Turn left on this. Although she might have originally, and I talked over it. Okay. Alrighty. Charge. Please don't turn left in front of me. Thank you. Okay. Once we get a little more sorted out, I'm going to munch more on my croissant.
In half a mile, turn left on North Holt Road.
You don't like highways?
Forward road. No.
Oh, how'd you get out here?
40.
No wonder you left so early. I thought, dang, it's not going to take her that long to get here. She leaves at that time. I hope I'm back in time. I left a little early and dropped the dogs off a little early. Initially, I had arranged for to drop them off like 10:30 or something because I figured I'd be driving straight from there, and it was like an hour and 15 minutes. And then as the night went on, I just thought, I just can't.
Yeah.
If I'm not driving, at least I can shift.
In
my
1,000
position, I
feet,
can move around.
turn left.
True.
What was that? Sorry. Was it a little black thing?
Oh, yeah, it's okay. It goes in between the seat and
I'm too fat for it.
Okay. Oh, hey, look, detour to Washington.
Turn left on North Holt Road.
Look at you, Waze, knowing about the detours and everything.
Sometimes when I try to use these things and I'm trying to avoid something, like maybe a road's closed and she doesn't know it, she keeps trying to take me back.
Yeah.
So I'll go another way. And she still just brings me back around.
I know,
where
yeah.
I can't
She's
go.
like, make a U-turn. I'm like, no! I am not making a U-turn. You will see it
In
my
3/4 of a mile, turn right on West Washington Street.
Thank you. Where's the other side of the cemetery? Must be the newer side.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
They just had a recent burial. Oh, that casket lid was slid over. Okay. Interesting.
In half a mile, turn right.
Normally the lids are closed at that stage, but whatever.
A tan, a last tan, maybe. Or...
Well, I guess it is the time of season for people to come back, I guess. I mean, you know, if you're of that persuasion, you
now in Easter, huh?
might leave.
Or, I
Yeah,
mean, Easter and Halloween, I guess.
exactly. So you might want to leave the lid off if you're of that faith. I don't know.
No, they used to put bells in there, right? In case you
Yeah.
came back.
Yep, that's why you were a dead ringer.
Well, then how do you get dead ringer for your brother?
You would look just like him.
Yeah, but you'd be a dead ringer. I mean, how does the dead ringer, that kind of dead ringer...
That the person was not dead. Oh, well, okay, you weren't making a left. You were going straight from the left line. The person would not be dead, so they would be resurrected. Like, you look just like your brother came back.
Turn right on West Washington Street.
So, like, if your brother was dead and he rang the bell and was dug up, he would look like you. Or you would look like that. Like, you look just like him, as if he was a dead ringer.
Yeah, but you don't look just like your brother, right? I mean, unless you're twins.
But that's what dead ringer, I mean,
Yeah.
you're a dead ringer for so-and-so means you look just like so-and-so.
Oh, like they'd come back from the dead.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
Alrighty, back on Washington. And folks, Washington is National Road. Like we've been talking about all morning. Okay.
Continue straight for 1 hour and 13 minutes to North County Road 675 West.
Woohoo! Okay. Time to get cruise control and a croissant. That's my new album name. my band name is Cruise Control and the Croissants. Alrighty, we are leaving Indianapolis, going towards Plainfield, Indiana. Eventually. Okay. Yeah.
So I heard about this guy one time. He was a bell ringer, and he didn't. He liked to ring the bell, like by running straight towards it and hitting it with his face.
Okay.
And one time he missed, and he flew out the window, and he landed, and he died, and people came up and looked at him. Does anyone know his name? I don't know. He's rung that bell for so many years, and I don't know his name, but his face rings a bell, right? And then his so it was a family tradition, and his brother came along, and he was doing the same thing, and he wanted to do it the same way, and he too went out the window, and nobody knew his name, but he was a dead ringer for his brother. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, you'd heard that one before.
Yep. The dead ringer jokes.
I guess for people who hang out in the cemeteries, it would probably be a lot of dead jokes.
Yeah. But the actuality of, like, having the anti-live burial devices is freaking terrifying. Like, can you imagine being in a cemetery, being a night watchman in the Victorian times and hearing a freaking bell?
Yeah.
I mean, oh my god.
Yeah.
Especially since they tied it to the hand, and if there was, they didn't really embalm. Oh, okay. They didn't really embalm, so if there was any further rigor mortis, that might have moved. I mean, back then, you don't know. Or like, when the finger fell off of the hand, did it ring? You know.
Well, or when the
Sorry to be morbid.
well, and the people that went around and dug up bodies to sell to medical schools too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they would have set the bells off sometimes when they were
Yes.
digging them
well,
up.
they would typically avoid those. I'm sure.
Would they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've read a couple medical books about the stuff they were doing, and they were talking about, the grave robbers and, literally selling things to medical schools.
Yeah, hair and was it Morrison hair? More and hair, something like that. Yeah, I'm reading the Art of Butchery right now.
Oh yeah, you're the only person I've suggested that to that seems to like it or is reading it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
The Butchering Art, right?
The Butchering Art.
Yeah,
Sorry, yes.
by it's about Lister and the
Yes.
rise of surgery and stuff. Holy cow,
Yep.
those guys doing like the amputations and putting the knife between their teeth and
Yeah.
getting them done in like 60 seconds. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The guy that had the saw that one too late. The guy that had the triple death one surgery where the guy who had this leg amputated died. The dressing assistant who had his hand chopped off died, and then the spectator who had his stomach slashed all in the same swoop died. And it's just like, it's the only time 3 people have died in one surgical procedure. Like,
Oh,
Jesus,
yeah.
you're a little too close to the action if you get cut.
Oh, so different nowadays. Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Well, yeah, just reading that, and I'm thinking, man, going for surgery now, you're like, great. No need to worry about it. I'm so excited. It'll be done in 10 minutes. You know? It's like, yeah, I'll just take the morning off of work, and, you know.
Yep.
Thinking, Jesus, people, like, didn't survive. Like, let alone, like, recovery time was, like, months. And recovering in a hospital was the worst.
Yeah. Well, hospitals were starting like so women didn't have to have their babies in the street. The poor didn't have to die in the street. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, it was
yeah.
more of a
Well, but yeah, and also, like, if you were incurable, like, they wouldn't take you. They were like, no, we can't help you, so just die at home. Why are you parked there, white van? Okay. Okay, good. 40 West, that's what we want.
I didn't think it would be that big of a detour for you because I assumed you were taking 70. I had no idea that it was going to be this much trouble.
Oh, that's okay. No problem.
Just thought, well, 70 goes right through Indy and it's just right off. It's like right off the highway. And
No, I mean, I planned on taking 40 the whole time, so it wasn't that big. I just didn't know because I know a lot of those roads, down there were one way, and that's why I was like, I don't know where this is. Where are you?
they are one way, and then with the construction and the basketball games, they've shut a lot of stuff off. So
Yeah.
even like even if I was better at directions, something could be open when I go home one night and not open the next morning. So
Exactly,
it's really
yeah.
hard to.
I knew about the construction, or I had an idea about that from the last time I was there, but I had not even considered, until I got there and went, oh, you're across from Baker's Fieldhouse, which is exactly where that game is being played today.
Yep.
Like, okay. So, yeah, because it took me a minute. I was like, why is all this stuff closed? Why are there, is there that much construction? And I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's, like, happening, like, right here, right now, like, national basketball game now. Or I guess at, like, noon or something. I don't know. But, like, today. So, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Got it. Just the same reason why I avoided Indy during the Super Bowl.
Oh, was that here too? Well, they've had a year.
Well, not now. I mean, it was like 2016. But, I mean, I would have loved to have seen all the stuff, but, like, I would have wanted to, like, go down there, like, the week before, get a hotel room for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to drive.
Everywhere, or walk, or,
exactly, yeah. Like, I would love to see it, but I don't want to be in it. Sorry, I'm kind of... Well, I guess I could take off my jacket.
No, you're fine. It's going to warm up.
I'm
So I have a shirt underneath this, but it said it was going from the 30. And I had no idea what the temperature would actually be like in the country. It's always a little different than in the city.
Yeah.
How it feels.
Yep. So, YouTube folks, this is Plainfield, and as you can see, the further we get from Indianapolis, the more it looks like the western part of the city, where everything's kind of spaced out and space in between the cities. So we went from high school road to girls' school road. Sounds like they separated the two. So I'm assuming they didn't just randomly name this girls' school. Oh, this is where the airport is. That's good to know. I haven't been here since they changed the airport. Huh. Well, I mean, I've left, but other people have driven me. I haven't driven to the airport since it moved.
Apparently, there are whole secret Facebook groups dedicated to finding vaccine appointments in San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Well, more power to you. Yeah, it's an ordeal out there to get a vaccination. When I tell my family that I've gotten both of mine, they're like, "What?" My stepmom waited 2.5 hours in line at Dodger Stadium, and I was like, "Yeah, it was like half an hour total, including the 15-minute wait at the end."
And the parking and the check-in and
Yeah.
getting in and out of the building. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, well, one of the things that makes small town living better. I mean,
Right.
sorry, but there's a lot of better things about city life, but this is one of the better things about rural life.
Yep. Living in a flyover state has its advantages.
Exactly, yes. Definitely. Okay. I don't like being able to not see in front of this guy. YouTubers, what we're going to Clay County to do is to go investigate some cemeteries. So I'm not sure if I'm going to record that or not. Kind of depends on the situation. Sometimes if I'm doing an investigation and throwing in, recording or live streaming it is a little difficult. And plus these are out of the way cemeteries. So I don't even know if there's going to be like signal for like a live stream. I might record, I don't know. Follow my channel to see later. But that's what we're heading out here for. So,
well, if you want me to hold the camera while you record, just let me know.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I do have the tripod.
Okay. I say I don't know how good I'll be at it, but I'm certainly willing to assist. I learned something along the way, probably.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe. I might take you up on that. Because I know that they enjoy watching that too, so. But if you're, I don't know, for those of you who don't know me, I do use crutches, so using crutches, holding a K2 meter and holding a phone is a little cumbersome at times. I don't have enough hands. And I do have a head mount for my GoPro, but that's not with me. So that's not in the mix right now. My tripod does link around my scooter handles, but I don't have my scooter, so Jennifer might be the videographer.
There you go. Well, good. I'll learn something then. What do you record on? Do you record on your phone and just put it on the tripod, or?
Yeah. Let's see if that's super loud. Is that too loud for you?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Just that way we can get a little bit of air.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, just do whatever you want with the temperature. It's fine.
Thanks. I'm more of a window person than an AC person.
Okay.
Ooh, $2.65 for gas. Nice. Wondering if this stream is private because there's still nobody in here.
What would it mean if it was private? Like somebody'd have to have a password to sign in?
Like they would need the link to get to it.
So how many people do you usually have?
Usually about 20.
These people you know checking in on you and stuff, or
Yeah, sometimes people will find it based on the keywords.
like ghosts or whatever? Or...
Yeah. Lucky Minute Amanda, if you're out there, can you text me if you can see this, please? I think that you said that you were going to try to be here, so
Here, let me try.
if you are, oh yeah, please.
Yeah, let me go to YouTube first, and then you can tell me what to look for.
You can actually go to the link I sent you in your Facebook Messenger,
Oh, it's a messenger. Okay.
and that'll take you to my page. Oh, okay, it shows 4 people. Thanks, Amanda. I appreciate it. It shows 0 on my screen, so I appreciate you telling me that. Amanda, also remind me to make you a mod. Please. I don't know how to do that, but I will figure it out. Oh, thank you, Amanda, for being here since the beginning. Love you. Amanda, is it too loud with the sunroof open? And by the way, I really appreciate you connecting with me.
Oh, you brought treats too.
I did,
I
yeah.
just saw your picture.
It's a pitch-in thingy, but not everybody. You didn't need to bring stuff, but I made those because they were easy and fun, and I had the stuff.
I did not know it was a pitch-in.
It's okay.
I would have. They had different flavored macaroons at the place next door too. I'd have brought a bunch of macaroons.
Okay. Thank you, Amanda. It's okay. No worries. I just kind of figured. Thanks, Amanda. Alrighty, so we are leaving Plainfield now. Heading towards Terre Haute. Well, eventually Terre Haute. Terre Haute's on the Indiana-Illinois border, so we're not going quite that far, but pretty close. I think Terre Haute's in Clay County, isn't it?
Never
sorry.
been to Terre Haute. No, you're fine.
I went there once. I was telling them a few years ago, Brian and I drove from the Ohio border to the Illinois border on 40 and Velcroed our K2s to the dashboard and looked for spikes. We were going to do it again in different times of different seasons, but didn't happen. Although I keep asking him to spike it for me. Brian, if you're out there and listening, please tell us hi. He did come through at a mutual friend's house.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where at?
Down in Ohio. And he said his name. And it was his voice, which was, I don't know, it was a little disconcerting. It was heartwarming, but it was a little, it caught me off guard.
As probably he would want to do, right?
Yeah, he's probably like, you know, I'm waiting for him to be like, hey, like tap me on the shoulder, and then be like, boo.
Yeah, but we don't really know, like, what has to happen for someone to have the capability and not just the desire, right?
Exactly, yeah. And that's one of the things I've said, you know, is I don't know how much energy or learning curve or anything goes into communicating through this. And I always say, and I feel kind of bad because now that I think about it, I don't really know. I don't really know if this is a true statement, but I'm always like, yeah, you can talk through us and don't worry, it won't hurt you. And I'm like, well, maybe it does. I don't know. So if it does, if it is uncomfortable, Brian, please let us know. Or anybody who is connected or hearing this, please tell us, because I don't want to make a false statement. I don't think it would hurt because it doesn't hurt here. But that's not a fair assessment of the situation. So,
Yeah, Shane almost came today.
oh yeah?
Yeah, his dad just got out of the hospital though, so
Oh.
he didn't want to be that far away.
Oh, sure.
And,
Yeah.
Because I told him where I was, going. He said that's tempting, but his dad got
okay.
out like yesterday or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't necessarily have to have this group to do it. I mean, if people want to do, if there's a small group of us that are interested, we can definitely go on our own too.
That's
And
true.
it doesn't have to be this cemetery. It can be like Earlham.
There's one I'd like to. Have you ever been to the one out by Eden, the old one that has all the Revolutionary War people buried and stuff?
No, but I would love to.
I used to just go out there and. Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay. Where is it on Eaton?
You know where Eden is?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. What did I do?
Oh,
Oh, I see. It's a change thing.
there's a lid, yeah.
Hold on.
Oops.
Oh, that's a good idea, though. Holy crap.
Yeah.
I always just dump it in a little hole in my driver's side door, the little pocket right in my driver's side door, but...
Yeah. Well, I mainly got... What we're talking about, guys, is there's a little thing that fits down in between the seat and the console, and it has a little spot for change, and it's got like a little pocket on it. I originally did that because I've lost so many dang phones down in between my seat and my console
Yeah.
that I was like, I need to stick something there. So I did that, or I looked, and I found one that it also has USB ports on it. So you can charge things, and it's got a change holder for like drive-thrus or tolls or whatever. Although I guess you don't actually pay money in tolls anymore. It's all electronic, I guess. But yeah, mainly I got that so that way I'd quit losing my phone in between the seats.
No, I do that too.
I
And I have
hate
to call
that.
myself with my work phone or whichever one I lost.
Yeah.
Or I just leave my phone plugged in all the time, so if it falls down, I can follow the cord and at least know where it is.
That's a really good idea.
Even if I don't plug it into the other end, like...
Yeah, you got a tail. I have my keys on a lanyard tether tied to the inside of my purse. So if I need to, I can just yank on the rope and find my keys.
That's a good idea.
But I like the idea of doing it with the phone too. Nice.
I just started clipping my keys to my pant loop.
Oh,
I can't do it
okay.
in scrubs because they don't usually have pant loops, but
Yeah.
like today.
Oh, the Oasis Diner. Okay. That's on National Road historic list. Ah, yay. Okay. So that is historic downtown Plainfield.
I don't know that I've ever. Well, I must have been. No, I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever been to Plainfield. I know there's a really
Oh.
large Islamic center there, and when we were talking about, I think like the biggest one, maybe in the Midwest or outside of Detroit or something, and we were looking to do like something with young friends, but the one in Hamilton was a lot closer, so we went to
Okay.
Hamilton. But yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, usually if I'm going west, I'm on 70, so I guess I kind of drive past Plainfield.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think 70 goes near here.
There's a correctional facility.
There's a sign for short-term correctional facility, and I read short correctional facility. I was like, okay. Or short-term offenders or something. I don't know. Something like that.
And when they just keep them in the county jail, I guess maybe too many in Indianapolis to just keep them in the county jail. Or
Yeah.
whatever.
Or maybe like these are people that are on work release, or I don't know. But so I don't know what comes after Plainfield. We're getting out of my area of expertise on 40. I've only been down here once, so.
well, I can tell you.
Oh yeah. What?
Fields of corn and soybeans.
Yeah. Mhm.
Big blue skies, and you might see a couple cows, and then
After Plainfield, we come to Cornfield.
that's right. That's right. And then if you keep going, eventually you'll hit another city. But you know,
Yeah.
and, yeah.
And then a river, and then, and then more fields. Thank you for your help.
Yes. Having lived in the Midwest my whole life.
Yes, you are an expert at such things.
Usually corn on one side, soybeans on the other.
Yes.
It's a little early in the year for that. So.
True. So yeah, it's just, well, that's why it's plain. Oh, somebody's turning. Like, why are we stopping? Well, I guess I should have been specific. I don't know what city is after Plainfield. I know Terre Haute in Illinois eventually, but I'm sure there's stuff in between. I did have all this incredible stuff. Oh, look at that beautiful Victorian. Oh, guys, look on the right-hand side before the trees. Oh, I want to go in there.
It's a pretty house.
That is. Oh, that's
I'll board it
amazing.
up. Might be interesting, huh?
Yeah, I would love to go in there. I would love to go in houses like that as long as they don't have holes in the floor.
Yes. Well,
I don't want to fall through the floor, but I would love to see the inside. That's always my disclaimer on haunted places. It's like, the only thing I'm worried about with haunted places is falling through the floor and spiders. Everything else, I'm good. But yeah, I don't.
Spiders?
No.
No, not any kind of spider?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Why?
I'm terrified of spiders.
Oh.
That's not my thing. I will do poltergeists. I will do.
No, I just always found them kind of fascinating. And I know people separate them out from like other insects as like being more afraid, but I never really understood why, so I figured I'd ask.
I think it's just the way that they move, which I know is not a fair statement to them, but they don't move. Okay, I guess, let me back up. Technically, I don't like anything with more legs than I have.
That's
And-
all insect. Well, no, doggies.
Well, crutches count. So, I got 4 feet, so.
I like that. Crutches count. Okay,
Yes.
so if you got a scooter that has 4 wheels, then you've got 8.
That's true.
Right?
Well, yeah. But only 4 on the ground at any time.
Okay.
But yeah, spiders, millipedes, centipedes, although I'm not really afraid of millipedes and centipedes, even like caterpillars are kind of iffy, but like I'm terrified of spiders. I don't know what it is. I
know other people like that. I saw a book the other day. It was going through my feed really fast, and it had the picture of all these spiders on the front, just like against a white screen. And the title was Spiders of the World, A Guide to Every Family, but I thought it said Soldiers of the World, A Guide to Every Family, and I thought, wow, so why does it have all the spiders? I thought that sounded really interesting, but it wasn't just about spiders, so not nearly as intriguing. I mean, it might be interesting, but I was trying to figure out the juxtaposition. It's like Spider-Man and soldiers,
But wasn't he one of the Avengers or something? Is that Winter Soldier? I don't.
Yeah, right.
I don't know any of that stuff.
Or like, what was it?
Black Widow,
Daredevil.
Deadpool.
I love
Okay.
Deadpool. Yeah, the soldier guy who became not quite like Spider-Man, but he did have a kind of a red suit he made, right? So
I don't know. I haven't seen that either.
Oh,
I haven't
Deadpool
seen
is
a lot
funny.
of
I
movies.
don't watch all the... Yeah, well, me either. And I don't watch all the superhero movies like my kids do. And I didn't see it in the theaters, but he's got such a dark sense of humor from his start. And the actor just does a really good job with it that I'm like, yeah, he's got it. He does a really good job with the dark sense of humor and the not being quite right and sort of actually messed up from the bad childhood instead of all just completely noble.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, a lot of people have said, Darkpool would kind of be my superhero, but one of the YouTubers on here that streams a lot is a guy by the name of Spokesman, and shout out to Spokesman if you're ever even watching this. But I am one of the mods for him, moderators on his channel to keep his chat clean and stuff like that. And so all of his, he is, I am going to screw this up, Mr. Stark? Is that who Iron Man is?
Yeah, Tony Stark, yes.
Yeah.
And that's Robert Downey Jr.
Yes. So all of us, all of the moderators are Avengers.
Okay.
So we all chose our Avenger to represent us, and I am Groot.
Oh, I love Groot.
Because,
you know who Groot is? You know Groot, right?
No, well, sort of. I picked him because he is strong and is loyal to his friends, and like is just kind of a helper thing versus like I'm gonna be, you know, the star of whatever. So, because to me he reminded me of Shmoo. So, YouTubers, tell me in the comments if you know who Shmoo is.
I don't know who Shmoo is.
You don't know who Shmoo is?
Who's
Okay.
Shmoo?
Shmoo was a spin-off cartoon from one of the original, I want to say Scooby-Doo?
Oh,
Maybe not. No, maybe Space Ghost. I don't know. I'll have to find that out. Or maybe you can find that out. But Shmoo was this white blob who could turn into anything that his boy needed. Like he had the human counterpart friend. And like if his boy was falling, he would turn into a trampoline. And then the boy would bounce off of him. Or if he...
Oh, created by Al Cap. Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Little Abner.
That's who it is. Okay, yeah, I knew he was somebody else, or connected with somebody else. But yeah, I loved Shmoo. He was nothing, but he was everything. Like, and I loved that juxtaposition, where he wasn't really an entity of himself, but he was everything somebody needed for him. Like, if his boy was hungry, he would be a hamburger, and, you know, I mean, like, I don't know. It sounds really weird verbalizing it, but...
Delicious to eat and are eager to be eaten. The human looks at one hungrily and will happily immolate itself, either by jumping into a frying pan, after which they taste like chicken, or into a broiling pan, after which they taste like steak. When roasted, they taste like pork, and when baked, they taste like catfish. Raw, they taste like oysters on the half shell.
What is this?
A Shmoo.
Oh, okay.
They also produce eggs, neatly packaged, milk, bottled gray A, and butter. No churning required. Their pelts make perfect boot leather or house timbers, depending on how thick one slices them.
Exactly.
No bones, no waste. Reproduce faster than rabbits.
Oh, well, geez, I don't know about that, but...
Yeah, late August 1948, little Abner discovers the Shmoos when he ventures into the forbidden Valley of the Shmoon, following the mysterious and musical sound they make from which their name derives. Abner is thrown off a cliff and into the valley below by a primitive large gal, as he addresses her, whose job is to guard the valley. This character is never seen again. There, against the frantic protestations of a naked, heavily bearded old man who shepherds the Shmoos, Abner befriends the strange and charming creatures. Shmoos, the old man warns, is the greatest menace to humanity the world has ever known. They write it in an accent. That's because they so bad, huh? Asked little Abner. No, stupid, answers the man, and then encapsulates one of life's profound paradoxes. It's because they so good.
Aww.
Having discovered their value, with these around, nobody will never have to work no more. Abner leads the Shmoos out of the valley, where they become a sensation in Dogpatch, and quickly the rest of the world. Captains of industry such as J. Roaringham Fatback, the Pork King, become alarmed as sales of nearly all products decline, and in a series of images reminiscent of the Wall Street crash in 1929, the Shmoo crisis unfolds.
Ooh.
You didn't know your life was so interesting, did you?
I know. Well, dang.
On Fatback's orders, a corrupt exterminator orders out Shmooicide squads to wipe out the Shmoos with a variety of firearms, which is depicted in a macabre and comically graphic sequence with a tearful little Abner misguidingly saluted the supposed authority of the extermination squads.
Whoa.
After the Shmoos have been eliminated, Dogpatch's extortionate grocer, soft-hearted John, is seen cackling as he displays his wares, rotting meat and produce. The exterminator congratulates them. However, it is soon discovered that Abner has secretly saved 2 schmoos, a boy and a girl. Except that they said earlier they produced asexually, so I don't know.
Yeah.
The boy shmoo, as a Dogpatch native, is required to run from the girl shmoo in the annual Sadie Hawkins Day race. Shmoos usually are portrayed as gender neutral, although Cap sidesteps the issue for the sequence to allow for the comic plot twist. When he is caught by her in accordance with the rules of the race, they're joined in marriage by Marion 98 cents in 1948.
Did they make all of those from their shmoo offspring? Or what?
I don't know. That's right. The already expanding shmoo family is last seen returning toward the Valley of the Shmoo. Oh my goodness.
Jeez. Okay, I had no idea that there was that much of a backstory.
Now you know.
I just, because it was in, he was in another cartoon too, though. That, like, I saw on TV in, like, the late 70s. So, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't Andy Cap, but...
Well, he died in 1979, so I don't know if...
I don't know. It was like some Hanna-Barbera thing had Shmoo in it. I don't know if it was...
Well, they might have bought the rights to the...
Yeah. I want to say it was Scooby-Doo, but it may not have been. I don't know. Or... No... Flintstones had the little Martian guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Marvin the Martian. I remember him.
He was his own character, but the little Martian guy was Gru? No, not Gru. Hey Chad, who was the little Martian guy in the Flintstones? Niru?
Okay, after Cap's death in 79, the Shmoo gained its own animated series as part of Fred and Barney Meet the Shmoo.
Okay, so it is Flintstones.
Which consisted of reruns of the new Fred and Barney show mixed with the Shmoo's own cartoons. The 2 separate types of characters didn't meet, however. The characters did meet, however, in the early 1980s Flintstone spin-off, the Flintstone Comedy Show.
Okay, that's probably what it was.
The Shmoo appeared incongruously in the segment Bedrock Cops as a police officer along part-time officers Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble.
Okay, that's probably where I got it from.
And then there's a later Hanna-Barbera venture, the New Shmoo, which featured the character as an inexplicably shape-shifting mascot of Mighty Mysteries Comics, a group of teams who solved Scooby-Doo.
Was because it was like a Scooby-Doo kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it must be. By the way, folks, this is the town of Stylesville, Indiana.
And boy, it's styling.
Yes. Yeah. At one point, I'm sure. It was...
Probably named after someone named Styles, you think?
Yeah. John or Jack, I don't know. Reggie Styles. Yeah, the way it's spelled, it's S-T-I-L-E-S. So I'm sure it's a family name. And this is the single stoplight in Stylesville. Ooh, pretty church down there. Nice little small country kind of church. Everybody's there Saturday for, I guess, pre-Easter ceremonies.
Well, Easter Saturday, right? Or yeah, that Holy Saturday or something. It's Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and
Easter Sunday.
Easter Sunday, I think.
Okay. Well, I've heard it 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I mean, we could nail it down with Shane, and you can know.
Oh, yeah.
Catholic, but
He would, yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm not a big person on religion, so I don't know all those little things. But there was definitely something going on at that church, and like you said, this is kind of the Holy Weekend, so that makes sense.
And I learned what shmoos were today. I had never heard of them.
Yeah. So did Chad. That was... Yeah, and I learned way more than I knew.
Before, huh?
Okay, so my knowledge of shmoos was taken from like the 70s and 80s shmoos, not the 1930s. 48, yeah, like World War II version of like dictatorship. That was not my knowledge of shmoos, but now I know. But he was like a white blob. He had a little face, had little whiskers like a seal. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Or maybe because the girl shmoo had a little pink bow. Because that's what indicates female.
Even though they reproduce asexually.
Yeah.
You still got to do that gender thing, right?
You still, yeah, exactly. Oh, look at the roof on that house. That's pretty cool. Rising
So what can people see? Like you're describing things as we pass. Can they see to the right and the
What's
left
in
of
the
the car?
front?
So they're
See the
seeing
phone
what's in
screen?
front of you there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's pretty wide angle. They can see both sides of the road. Yeah. You can also enlarge or zoom. I zoomed in. At the beginning of this, I talked about the Wayne County, the Wayne County seat rebellion between
Oh, is that
Centerville
with
and
Centerville
Richmond.
and Richmond? I'm
Yeah.
reading about that.
Yep. So I showed them the old Centerville jail with the cannonball, shrapnel, destruction. I remember when I first moved here, that just like stunned me. I was like, "What do you mean that's from a cannonball? Like a real cannonball?" Like I had never even thought
Really?
that I would ever see something from a cannonball.
Really, that's interesting. I would have thought there'd have been enough history in California with the Mexican-American War and stuff that they might have had, you know, churches or forts or tore it all down to make way for new housing.
Yeah, they tore them down. I mean, I'm sure there's probably something in California cannons through the sand. So they have bullet holes,
Oh, I see.
but not a whole lot of cannon fire down there. And I mean, probably somewhere in the state, but I hadn't seen it. But, so yeah, that was really, really interesting to me. I liked that.
Yeah, so the cemetery out by Eaton,
Yeah.
it's like by the fort. There's a fort out there.
Oh yeah.
And I used to go.
The one that has the Christmas lights.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
St. Clair?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, Fort St. Clair. So there's if I remember correctly, it's been a long time since I've been out there. Because my ex-husband, Keita's dad,
Uh-huh.
we split up when she was like 3. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been a while, right? She's 75. But he worked out there, and I would have to drive him out there, you know, sometimes if I wanted to keep the car. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I would go and walk through the graveyard. And there would be all these people on the gravestone, you know, they were marked them as veterans of the Revolutionary War and
Yeah.
stuff.
Ooh, we'll have to go out there.
That's what I was thinking. So then, you know, of course, because everybody just moved west, right? Ohio, 1803, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be an interesting place to go. And,
I've never been to Fort St. Clair.
Yeah,
I've heard about
shaded.
the Christmas. But yeah, actually, I'd like to see that. So YouTubers, let me know in the comments if you want to see Fort St. Clair. I don't know that much about it except they do Christmas lights. I know there's more to it than that, but that's all I've heard. And apparently, as Jennifer said, like you heard, they have a pretty nice cemetery out there with some Revolutionary War veterans. That would be cool, and it's definitely going to be much closer to where I live than this.
Yep.
Although I don't necessarily mind this, but I would like to explore closer things too. But the part of eastern Indiana that I'm from or that I live in now is kind of not very close to a whole lot of things in Indiana. It's a lot closer to things in Ohio, which is why I've done a lot of Ohio trips. Like I did like a timeline of Annie Oakley.
Greenville, right?
Yeah, which I need to do again in landscape because I screwed up and it's in portrait and it's terrible. And Amanda, you'll remember this was the turnaround time with Tracy video. I missed everything. Because I mean, when you're driving 65 and you're looking for a little plaque, when I first moved here, but like her birth site, you can't put it into Waze because like they don't have coordinates. It's just, you know, just outside of the town of blah, blah, blah.
Right, you just gotta drive around.
Okay. I'm like, wait, there it is, turn around. So we spent a lot of time turning around that day. But I did mark where those things are now on my phone. So hopefully far fewer turnarounds. But yeah, I'll have to do that again. Mount Meridian, Indiana. Okay. Hello, Mount Meridian. But yeah, I've done that, and I've done some stuff down in Hamilton and Fairfield. I've done the Fairfield Infirmary, which is south of Columbus.
that's like between like Dayton and Cincinnati, right?
No, it's
No?
further over. It's in the middle of the
So
state.
it's not in Fairfield, Ohio, then?
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It's Fairfield County,
Okay.
which Fairfield, Ohio is not in, which
Right.
I thought it was Fairfield, Ohio too, because I was like, I could go to Jungle Gyms.
Yep.
And no, this is like in the middle of the state. I'm like, wait. But you know what we should do one day?
What's that?
We need to take the YouTubers to Jungle Gyms.
Oh, yeah?
Because I
Yeah.
could totally attach
He really
my
wants to go to
tripod.
Jungle Gyms again, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can attach the tripod to my scooter and you guys can see Jungle Gyms, which is, it's a store, but it's an event in and of itself. It is amazing. They have like a whole wing of cheese, like, which I find it very hard to tear myself away from.
They used to have live palm trees out front,
Yeah.
and they would bring them up from Florida, and then, of course, the first winter they would die. And they would...
I mean, I know it's a tree, but come on.
Yeah.
But I remember, the main thing I remember when I first moved here, my ex and I would go down there, and the only thing I would remember is the painted pots on Dixie Highway. And the monorail. The monorail scared me every time. Or not scared me, but made me anxious every time. Because it's like this monorail and then there's no track in front of it. And it kind of made me anxious for a while. There's one of those Indiana homesteads. Sorry, Jennifer. I was explaining
mean?
that too.
What do you mean?
I was explaining that to the YouTubers this morning about Indiana homesteads that have been in the family for over 100
Oh,
years.
okay.
They have a sign that's Indiana Centennial Homestead or Farmstead.
I did not know that.
Yep, they have blue signs that if the farmland has been owned, or the land has been owned by the same family for over 100 years, they can apply to receive that, and then I guess it's protected. And then you get a little sign. But I just think that's so cool that, like, the family has lived there for over 100 years. I love that. But, because one of the folks that I was providing support for through work had that sign at their in front of their home, and I was like, can you explain what that sign is? He said, I love history, and it was an Indiana historical sign. And she's like, oh yeah, my family's on this farmland for 140 years or whatever. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was like just north of Centerville. It's amazing. She has pictures of her grandparents building the house, and it's I love stuff like that. Alrighty.
Now,
Looks
this
like
is saying that if you go over to Fort St. Clair, right,
Uh-huh.
which was constructed in 1792, there is a tree that was planted sometime in the 1700s that is still there.
Ooh.
Witnessed the battle between Little Turtle and the soldiers stationed at the fort.
Yeah, I was gonna
and-
say that'd be a heck of a witness tree.
Yeah.
Wow.
Spring flowers, peaceful snows. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll have to go there. I'd really like to do that. I love Revolutionary War stuff. And cemeteries.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect. Okay, green light. There you go. Just because this red truck is coming up really fast.
Yeah, Bev should be done with school soon.
Yeah. Okay, person in the white car, what you doing? Okay, we're 17 miles from Brazil, which in Indiana is pronounced Brazil.
Really?
Mm,
I was saying Brazil. Okay. Well,
yeah, well, from what I've been told, I
it
called
might be. I don't know.
Yeah, I was told it was Brazil because I called it Brazil too. And they're like, no, it's Brazil. The same way Versailles is Versailles. Like, okay, yeah, okay. And Peru is Piru.
Well, and when you go to Lancaster, Ohio, they say it Lancaster.
Lancaster, yep.
That took me a long time to learn to say it that way.
Well, Lancaster is actually more correct. Lancaster's kind of the American version. Because we pronounce everything. Folks over in England would call it Lancaster. So, just like Worcestershire. No, it's not Shire and Castor. Oh, uh-oh. The National Road turns right. Ah. Oh no, folks. Well, we are not going to officially follow it. No, I didn't know that. Okay, we're off the National Road now. Oh, Amanda, I saw your text disappear. I didn't get a chance to read it. I think that was your text. Could you resend it, or are you telling me that we lost connection?
I just sent you a text.
Oh, you did?
Yes. I sent...
Never mind.
I sent a link to the cemetery to you and to Shane and to Bev.
Okay, thank you.
So, it'll be in our...
Cool. Thank you. Sorry, Amanda, never mind. I was just used to you being the one texting.
So, who's Amanda?
She's a friend
Okay.
that lives in Houston.
Okay. Hi, Amanda.
So, yeah. She
I
and
didn't know if she was like a fellow ghost hunter or
yeah, sort of. She and I are fellow Disney friends, and she likes ghosts and stuff too. We've done, in fact, I did a spirit box session at my friend's house in Ohio. Oh, welcome to Putnamville. And
Bear Creek shooting range.
had her on the phone with me, and we both listened and spoke with oh, okay, we're back on National Road. Yay! Okay. We both we did a so she's kind of interested in all that kind of stuff, and I am too, and we've connected on a few different levels. Her husband's family is semi-geographically close to mine, so we've had connections on that too. So she's just a friend who has my phone number to be able to text me and is watching the stream. So, I mean,
I didn't know, if you had, since this was like a ghost hunt thing, if you had, like a bunch of, you watch each other's ghost hunts. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Like
comparing notes kind of thing. Or,
yeah. No, I don't have a whole lot of friends who do investigations. I want to. If you're watching this and you do investigations, please leave me a message. I would love to watch your investigations. I mean, I watch YouTubers' investigations, but I don't know them. I mean, I watch their channels, and I like their channels, but I don't know them. In order to, be friends with phone numbers. Not to that level.
Friends with phone numbers. That's a step or two away from friends with benefits. Or
Exactly, yes.
people you could use their insurance card for the ASR ID.
Yes, exactly, yes. Texting friends. Phone number friends. Sounds like a 1980s album, Friends with Phone Numbers.
Okay, so I was telling a friend of mine, Anastasia, that we were on our way to the cemetery and that you were live streaming this.
Uh-huh.
And she said, "What do you plan to do if you catch one? Can you mount it on your wall?" And I told her I'd ask you.
I have several mounted on my wall. You just can't see them.
Okay. I will tell her that.
No, actually, I don't plan on bringing anyone home. Well, except for you. But no. I take provisions to not bring them home. Because they need to stay where they are or get cleansed from whatever and go to wherever they need to go. But they don't need to come home with me. I've got enough there already. Not looking for any more. Nobody's allowed in my car, in my home. Dang it, I did forget to bring my rose water. Oh well. Nothing will attach, I'm sure. That's only for private home investigations where I'm trying to move somebody from that location.
It bubbles. It smells like roses. I just love the scent of roses.
Oh, rose water smells. That's a yeah.
It
Okay.
smells like roses. That's kind of the whole point, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. Why is that motorcycle on this side of the road going that direction? Oh my God! Wait a minute. Okay.
Is he going the wrong
Good.
way?
Never mind. He turned around. Oh,
You know, up until
Jesus. Sorry, that scared me. I was like, no! Up
sort of
until
like
what?
the mid to late 19th century, when they found ways to cheaply process vanilla,
Mhm.
Americans, like Europeans and people in the East, used rose water. So wherever you see vanilla in a recipe, that used to be rose water.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Now the motorcycle's turning around and going the other direction. Okay. Whew. Okay, sorry, folks. You can't see that, but a motorcyclist just turned left on my side of the road, and he cut back over and is going to the other side of the road now. That scared me. He was going the wrong direction. Whew. Motorcyclists are kind of iffy in my mind anyway sometimes. I mean, I know...
They call them in the hospital, right?
Yeah. I mean, drivers have the responsibility too, but yeah, I thought he was going the wrong way on a 4-lane state highway. So yeah, contrary to a question or a desired belief, I don't know, other people may bring them home. I don't want them. That's why I have all the empty plaques.
All the empty what?
Plaques.
Oh.
I should do that. Go over to Joann's and get one of those plaques and stain it. But like Casper.
Yeah, like you're mounting it. That's right.
Yeah.
That would be really cute.
That would be funny. That'd be a good Halloween prop for the museum. Well, I should tell them about that.
Ghostbusters, or
Yes.
Ghost Hunters Hall of Fame or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Okay. All right, if anybody from the Wayne County Historical Museum is watching this, remember that, and I'll try to bring it up in our next Haunted Museum meeting. We should do a Hall of Fame where we have, like, I don't know, what other famous ghosts? Blackbeard or something, I don't know. Like, the famous haunts. Uh-oh, National Road takes off again. We'll be back, National Road. Or you'll be back. They always come back. No, I'm kidding. Another thing I was telling the stream earlier this morning was I love taking this in different types of seasons. Because I love seeing it throughout the year with, the spring when stuff just starts coming back, and the summer when it's in full greenery, and then the fall when it's in the beautiful, like, autumn leaves and everything. I usually don't drive very far in the winter, but when
There's a cemetery between Richmond and Union City that I used to pass all the time, and I liked it when I would have patients in Union City, and so I would stop there sometimes. And I took the dogs one time, and I think it was just Latte. I don't think I had Riley yet. And took a picture because it was so pretty, of the dogs sort of trotting along, and I initially wanted to go back and get it in all 4 seasons. And part of what I was trying to get was in the spring. What caught my eye was there was a whole row of maple trees on the back of the cemetery, and they had the taps where they were draining the syrup, and I liked the juxtaposition of the spring sap and the syrup and the grapes, and the, that kind of stuff.
Ooh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, Latte's not much for posing. She just wants to go do her own thing. Yeah.
Stay? Why would I stay? I could be running. What the heck?
That's right.
Oh, sign. Treaty line. Okay. I love that. There is a website where you can look at all those state historical signs.
Oh, and they tell you what they actually are. I hate it when it says historical marker. Well, why don't the hell they tell you what it is? Like, you're looking for it, you're trying to figure out what it is, and you don't know what it's marking until you get out of the car or whatever.
Well, like a lot of the times, like, you can't stop where it is. I mean, I know they put it where it is because, I mean, that's where it is, but, I mean, you can't really
Yeah, so they at least give you a big sign and tell you what it is, since you can't actually safely stop.
Yeah. Well, we are now in Clay County, which is the correct county that we wanted to be in, so that's good.
Yeah, you could, for your plaques, you could get either, I don't know, you could do like the Wives of Henry VIII, or you could do something more local, right? Like Jeremiah Cox, or my guy, the doctor guy that I was trying to find out where his practice was, you know, back in the, when he got here in 1827 or whatever.
Who is that?
Oh gosh, now you're gonna ask me his name. Shane gave me a book that somebody that he'd gotten, and it was about, he came and set up his medical practice. He was from the Carolinas. He got to Richmond like 1827. He was in Richmond for a while. He was in Indianapolis for a while. He was in Springfield, Ohio for a while, Germantown, Ohio for a while, and then he came back and finished out his years in practice and is buried in Eaton, Ohio.
Really?
Yeah, but he talks about his various cases. So, if you know, like how they dealt with edema and how they dealt with different.
Oh my God, that would be amazing! Right? I would love to read that book.
Yep. And yeah, and I think about like all the things that we do for edema, and then the stuff that he was doing, and I'm thinking, boy, I'd probably lose my license if I did that. But you know, and he'll write about, well, you know, like they were so happy because this hasn't come back or whatever, and I'm thinking, well,
because you bled them. No, I'm kidding.
Well, like for like edema, right? Swelling.
Yeah.
They would just puncture little holes in things and let it out, right? And I'm thinking, well,
ooh, that's a cool house.
But like the condition that caused it, how do you deal with that, right? Especially like he had a whole little thing on scrotum that were edematous and all these things. He was dealing with the scrotum and how grateful the men were when it. I bet they were. But I'm still trying to picture how you keep it from coming back, but whatever the cause was.
Well, I mean, was that in the time of like
1830s, 1840s? You know, I mean, 50s. I mean.
Well, okay, sorry, Stream. This is gonna get a little weird. Like pus was a part of the healing process. Like you let the pus fester and then you let it out and it's all better. You know, supposedly. But at the time, I mean, that was the thought, was that was what needed to happen, and it was kind of right because that was white blood cells.
Yep.
But
yeah, they were kind of on the right track. I mean, even if you think about bleeding and stuff, they knew there was something from the outside that got into the inside, and it was in the blood, and it was making you sick, and you wanted it to go away.
Yeah.
Right? Unfortunately, they just let all your blood out with it, and all the good stuff too. But you know, like I can see the reasoning. You know, we don't want it in there.
Exactly. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, we are in Harmony, Indiana now.
Oh yeah, that's where Phil.
Oh yeah.
Gully writes. Doesn't he write stories back home in Harmony or whatever? This was actually when this started as an intentional community in the 19th century.
It was,
by Unitarians or something like that.
Yep, it was a religious-based colony, or not colony. Well, I guess colony.
Settlement or whatever.
Settlement, that word.
There's another one up by Anderson, and they're still kind of going.
Is there? Huh?
Yeah, I had a patient there once, and she was.
Well, you know, if people want to live there voluntarily, sure, but I just don't think anybody should be stuck wherever, whether it's religious or not religious, and they don't want to be there, then
embodied or otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
Harmony Stow and Go.
Mario Brothers Cuisine.
That's interesting.
Wonder if you get marshmallows, mushrooms.
You gotta go to Oregon for that.
Jump up and oh goodness, that poor little house is falling apart. They've done a lot of cable work here apparently. There's cables sticking out of the ground everywhere out here.
Is that what those little blue flags are?
They might have just done internet. I don't know.
Maybe, actually, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, there's Amish around here. Or somebody riding a horse. I don't know about the blue flags, but there's like cable ends sticking up in places.
Yeah, whenever I see all those little blue flag markers, I'm not sure what they are, but somebody's marking it for something.
I think that's electric. I don't know. It's something, or maybe blue is water. I don't know.
I don't know, but I've got a patient, and she's got those flags all through her yard, and I keep forgetting to ask her if she knows what they're for.
Yeah, I think orange is gas. I don't know. You're right. They're marking something. I don't know what the something is, but. And yellow. Yeah, there's like orange and blue and yellow and.
See, the dogs have it. They're much better at it. They can mark it without leaving eyesores, and they know, right?
Exactly.
Unless you get a big yellow spot in that yard for the dead grass. That only
Yeah.
seems to happen when the boys mark it, though. I haven't noticed it with the girls.
I don't know what the deal is. Yeah.
They have Mighty P. I
Darn
guess.
boys. See the cable sticking out of the ground?
Oh.
I'll roll down the window for a little bit. Okay, we should be turning at some point. I know. That was a real prophetic statement.
Mm.
I'm actually curious about this 100-step cemetery, though. I've heard a lot about, well, not about it, but about, I haven't heard about the hauntings about it, but it's always in, like, the must-visit cemetery things.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's something about if you do 100 steps and do something, there's some ghost that'll show up and tell you when you'll die or something.
Yeah, if you count the steps, and then you go up to the top, then the caretaker will tell you how you're supposed to die, and if you count the same number of steps going down, then that's true, and if you don't, then it's not, or the other way around, I don't know. Something like if you count the same number of steps going up and down. Wow, Brazel's a pretty big town. It's got a McDonald's and a Circle K. Oh my
Do you
God.
like those?
I haven't seen Circle K in years.
Oh, they're all around here.
Really?
What were they connected to?
In California, we, I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out what these people are doing. We used to go to the Circle K and get blocks of ice because it was the only convenience store that sold them. And we would go to, okay, let me preface this, YouTubers. This is illegal. Do not do this. I am not suggesting this. You can be caught, fined, and arrested. Do not do this. But we used to go to golf courses and slide down on our blocks of ice. It was called ice blocking.
Really?
And it was basically California sledding.
I've never heard of that before.
And yeah, it was
Why
so
golf
much fun.
courses?
Because they had hills and they had nice grass.
Okay.
Because you needed like soft grass and no like dirt, so you could slide down. Because if you hit dirt, your ice block would stop and you'd keep going. It sucked.
So were they like big squares, or were they?
Yeah, there were ice blocks.
So you like
They were
sat
like-
on it like a chair.
Yeah, there were rectangles.
So they weren't like flat, like kind of.
No, they were
rectangles.
raised.
Okay. Huh.
You would put a beach towel on him and sit down on it like a sled and push yourself off.
Huh. How long did they last in California weather?
Oh, several slides.
Oh. That's interesting.
It was fun, but yeah, it was trespassing, and it ruins the grass. And do not do that on golf courses.
Do you think people still do that?
I don't know. It was
Or
big
if-
in the 80s. I don't know if they do now or not. And I remember one time we were over there doing it in Palm Springs because they have all kinds of golf courses. And my brothers threw the ice blocks over the wall, and my brother picked me up and threw me over the wall. And I was like, wait a minute. Luckily, I sort of landed on my side, but like he like lobbed me over the wall.
Now, how much older is he than you? Or younger?
6 years.
6 years?
6 years older.
Well, he could definitely pick you up. and
Yeah,
lob you.
oh, yeah. But yeah, the security guards would come in, and it was illegal back then too. So, like I said, this was wrong, but it was fun. But so yeah, he just picked me up and went, pew. And I was
And
like,
then followed you over?
yeah. because he knew he could hop the wall, but I couldn't. It was like a 5-foot wall. I mean, it was nothing for him, but it was like a foot taller than I was. And I was like, I am not getting over that. I was like 10. So, but yeah, I was like, like, wait a minute. All right, Waze, tell us where to turn, please. Oh, National Road goes to the right. I think we're going straight. Noisy diesel trucks. Yuck. Oh wow, Dairy Queen is closed Easter Sunday. Stock up now. Alrighty, folks. Well, we are almost to Terre Haute, which is almost all the way across the state. Hasn't really been that long of a drive, though. It's been pretty good. Looks like it's nice and breezy outside, though.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. God, I feel so bad for the people mowing these like whatever they're called, ditches or whatever.
In 4.4 miles,
Oh,
turn left on North County Road 675 West.
okay. Thank you.
I guess she only shows up when she has something to say.
I guess. I mean, if I had the map on, I could have seen it, but I want to see what the stream is seeing, just so that way I know if. That way I know if I need to change something or. But yeah, I feel bad for the people mowing the culverts or whatever they're called. It's like at a 60-degree angle. My God, bless it. That's got to be hard to pull a lawnmower up and down.
You do better with some goats.
Yeah, there you go.
Rent a goat from Amazon. They do rent goats.
They have goat rental?
They have goat rental. Yes, I discovered it years ago. I thought it might be good to use in my garage, but the closest place at that time you could rent them was from Cleveland.
Oh God.
But I guess they use them in like cities like Boston, and so they'll rent like, you know, and they'll just eat like all the
Really?
the junk in your ditches or the parks. You know, if you have
Yeah.
a lot of invasive stuff or things you don't want to pay somebody to go out, you just rent the goats and pay one person to watch the goats, and they just eat it all.
Wow.
I know, right?
That's amazing.
Come back and take care of the poison ivy or something.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Just come back, clean up the goat poop, and you're on your way. So how do you... Okay, I have many questions, but my first is, how do you get them? Like, do they deliver them?
I don't know. I mean, they were too far away. I wasn't going to bring them from Cleveland, but let's see.
Yeah.
Rent a goat in Indiana.
Like, do they show up with a goat trailer or what? You got to put it in your back seat or UPS goat delivery? UPS
Well, Amazon
GD.
can deliver anything, right? So
Yeah.
they deliver goats.
It's UPS GD, UPS goat delivery.
We don't have much of a signal here, so I'm not sure.
GD division. Yeah, I imagine there's. Yeah. Amanda, are we still on?
I'm down to like one bar.
Yeah. Yeah, we may not be. Oh, okay. Thanks, Amanda. Yep, still alive. Thank you very much,
Who's your carrier?
Verizon. Who do you have?
I have AT&T, so you might be getting a better signal here.
Yeah, Verizon actually does pretty well. I mean, of course, there's some spots, like when I'm driving down to Hamilton, like when I go through like Fairhaven and stuff. I mean, you're down in the middle of nowhere in a valley, so I lose it there, but all in all, it's not too bad. I kind of like Verizon.
Apparently Amazon started this in 2015 because when you put
In 1 mile,
Amazon, they also
turn
have
left
in
on North
2015
County Road
an article
675 West.
675 West. Okay. I'm sorry, what?
Apparently Amazon started renting goats in 2015 because when I put in Amazon goat rental,
Uh-huh.
all these things came up from like April 2015.
Okay. I imagine, like, animal rights people might not be so happy with that kind of stuff. I don't know. I mean, it just seems a little... I don't know. It's like rent a puppy or something. You know, it's like, that doesn't sound real kosher. Little church on the right-hand side there. Little white church. Oh, was that what I needed to turn on? I don't know.
Won't she
Turn left on North County Road 675 West.
Okay.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right.
Oh, turn right. Crap. Okay, I'm sorry, person. I don't know where I'm going. Go on past.
Turn right on Indiana 340.
I know.
In a quarter of a mile,
Okay.
turn right on North County Road 675 West.
Okay. We have made a U-turn effectively. All right. Now where? We're on 340.
Turn right on North County Road 675 West.
That is it.
In half a mile, you'll arrive at 100 Steps Cemetery. In 600
Wait a
feet,
minute.
turn right.
She's probably gonna take you around the block, maybe.
Yeah.
You could just turn around, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Turn right on North County Road 650 West.
Yeah, I'll do that. What the heck?
Good on
In
you.
600 feet, turn right on US 40. Then turn left.
Okay. Oh, we found the...
Turn right on US 40. Then turn left on North County Road 675 West.
Okay, hang on, folks. Sorry, I missed the turn, because these roads come up quickly and they don't really have road signs that you can read from very far out. And no, I don't need glasses. What happened to telling me?
Turn left on North County Road 675 West.
Didn't I want you?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, she did say right before. Okay, this seems more like
Where you
where
wanna
the
go?
cemetery would be. Yeah. Ooh, pretty. Okay. This is kind of a fun road. Okay, no little deer, all right?
In a quarter of a mile, you'll arrive at 100 Steps Cemetery.
Fabulous. We're about a quarter of a mile away. Oh, big hole. Ah, two big holes.
Not big enough for a grave, though, right?
No. No hands sticking out. Wow. Oh, potholes. Okay. Oh, good. They were shallow. I was going to say they're kind of all over the road, so I can't really go anywhere to avoid them, but... Alrighty, folks.
You've arrived at your destination.
Nope, that's a driveway. Oh, to the left. Oh, hey, look, it's the 100 steps. Okay.
Surely there's parking somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't see other cars, and there's supposed to be other people meeting us, right?
Yeah. And it's about noon, so... Well, that's a house. And then I'll probably go ahead and to stop the stream. I may start, or I am going to stop the stream. Like I said, I may stream live. I'm not sure. It definitely won't be for a little bit because we're going to find... Oh, gosh, okay. We're going to have to find the other people that we're meeting down here and figure out where to park because I'm not parking on this little road. Well, I should have turned around back there. Oh, well. Okay, this seems to be a little flatter of a space. Okay. I will... Oh, good. There's a wider space down here. Good. Okay. But yeah, I did not see anywhere to park. Like, at all. Could you bring it up on Google and see if there's any...
That's what I'm looking for now.
Thank you. Wabash River Coon Hunters Association.
Well, if there's another place to park, I would think it would be on the other side of the cemetery, right? Maybe?
Oh,
If
that's
we didn't
true.
see anything on this side, there was no place to drive in.
You're right.
Right, there was just the
Should
steps.
I go down there, you think?
Sure, what the heck?
Okay. Let me... Okay, well, you guys are going to come with us on an explore. Woohoo! Gravel! And this is an official road, by the way. Welcome to rural Indiana. This is a county road. Gravel roads still exist. Oh, what the hell was that? Gonna be picking rocks out of my tires for weeks.
Really? You take rocks out of your tires?
Well, eventually.
Oh.
When they fill up all the treads, they do. And this little Gallivant might do a lot of that. Sorry if this is loud stream. Woo! Kicking up some dust.
I just want to tell you about the legends. I don't want to tell you where to freaking park. Strange and creepy.
Could you find anything on Google?
Well, that's where I'm looking.
Oh. I mean, like on Google Maps? Like if you look
I
at a
couldn't.
picture?
It didn't show up at all. On,
Oh, it didn't?
Let me see if I got. Well, these are Safari maps. Hold on. Let me see if I've got Google Maps on here somewhere. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how big this cemetery is. Oh, that looks like a business. Or a private property. Yep. Not going down that road. Ooh, it's 54. Yay! God, okay. Thank God for pavement. This would drive me nuts. Ugh. Oh, look, another car. Oh, dang, they turned. Oh, well. Let's see. Okay, this is a house.
You think they'd have a sign or something, right? Because
Well, a lot of the older cemeteries didn't have, like...
I know, but if it's all over the place for all these haunted websites, like somebody might have stuck a little.
Oh, yeah. Like somebody else would have said, yeah. I mean, eventually, if we don't find it, I'll pull over and text the guy that set this up, but... Yes. God bless the concrete prison.
24 hours.
North County Road 550 West.
Yeah, it just wants you to turn around.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, it's probably going to the entrance.
Right.
But if there's no parking at the entrance,
There has to be parking somewhere.
yeah. I mean, people do this all the time. I mean, even like visiting people in the cemetery. Like, there's still active burials in there, so I mean, there's got to be somewhere for them to be.
Right, and those people that we're meeting, some of them at least are probably there, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't parked there, so.
No.
Yeah, they should have. It would have been nice if they'd have given some indication of like where to actually go.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I guess he
Frozen Parking National.
He did have a map, but honestly, I just assumed it was to the cemetery. I didn't really think that it would be. Well, and I also admit I thought that, okay, we're going to turn down Happy Holler. Oh, thank God. Okay, he's quieter. Oh, it's Winding Road. For a quick glance, I thought it said Wrong Road. I was like, oh, shit. I'm turning around. The damn street sign said Wrong Road. Forget it. Okay, folks. We are going to see where this takes us. I don't know how big the cemetery is or how far this road will turn back to the left, but private road, okay. Oh, all right, there's a left-hand turn.
Everything's loading really slow. Yeah, the map just brings up the cemetery, like it just took us back to where we were.
Okay.
So I'm trying. This is like an Indiana State historical thing. I'm just going to see if they might have something.
Okay.
Where the hell do you park?
Like I said, if not, I'll just pull over and text him and be like, hey, where are you? And can you send me the coordinates to get there? Ooh, this looks a little iffy. Okay.
It's paved.
It is, yes. No, I meant the bridge. It was like a Y-shaped bridge.
I wonder if TripAdvisor has.
There's a TripAdvisor?
No, you know, like AAA TripAdvisor.
Oh.
Like it showed up when I Googled. It showed up where to park at Thousand Steps Beach, and I thought, and that was on TripAdvisor. I thought, what if TripAdvisor, like if people were doing haunted tours, like
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff people ask and post, right?
Exactly.
If you've ever been on TripAdvisor, but yeah.
Yeah.
Where to?
Oh, here's someone walking. Oh, they were checking it. Oh, it's a police officer. Maybe he would know.
Oh, he would probably know.
You want to ask?
Where is he? I don't see him. Oh.
Right there. Turn. He's walking away. Okay. Never mind. Bye, officer. I mean, it's not trespassing and it's during the day, so there's no problem being here.
It said it's open 24 hours. Is this all private land? No, there's mailboxes.
Yeah, no, these are houses.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how close they are to. I have no idea where we are in relationship to the cemetery right now. Eventually, we're going to hit 40 again, I'm sure, but I'm looking off to the left, hoping to see, like, headstones or something, but I don't know where we are in the grand scheme of the road. Not sure I'd want to do this in the winter and nighttime.
No.
Not without knowing the road.
Well, I don't know that I'd want to do it at nighttime without knowing the road.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, to have been through it is one thing, but to just try and find it at night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this time of year, it's actually easier to see through the trees to see cars. So
That's true.
Oh, hey, look, I think we found 40. Oh, hello. Yep, it's 40. Okay, well, we are back where we started. Well, not really back where we started. Dang it, now I have to make a left and then a right. Wait a minute. That's that church.
What church?
The white church that we came out on. I'm confused.
I would probably just text your friends at this point. I mean, I can keep looking, but
Did we go left or right from when we came back onto the freeway?
I
Onto the highway?
have no idea.
Okay.
I cannot
I think we
state
might-
strongly enough how directionally in here. I'm just trying to find cemeteries and anything nearby that's not just going to do
Yeah.
what it did a minute ago.
Okay, yeah, it was this street.
I'm guessing you don't want to do the 100 steps, right?
I don't mind doing 100 steps.
Yeah.
Or do you want, if you don't want to, you don't need. I mean, you can walk up the hill. You don't
Right.
have to go up the step.
Steps.
But I don't know that there's another entrance. I don't know.
It'd have to be, right? Or there'd be cars parked, unless no one else showed up.
I have no idea. I don't know. Okay. This looks like a relatively flat space to kind of. All right, everybody. Hold on. Bye. Thanks for watching. Take care.